Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jared McKenzie. This is You Want Podcast, episode 11. We got a special guest, Ryan Beegle, in the house. What's up, bro?
What up?
How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah. So we were just talking about the finals coming up, or what's going on, game one with Golden State and Dallas.
Yep, I think Dallas takes it.
Really?
Yep.
See, that's that controversial shit Brett was warning me about. Really?
Yeah.
Luka has been going off, though.
Yeah, and I just don't think Golden State's as powerful as they used to be.
No, but it's. I think it's kind of crazy how good they still are right now, though. Just
Yeah.
from all the injuries and everything, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were gonna beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah, honestly, Golden State, Steph and Clay are still playing like elite players, but it's been their guys that nobody's heard of before that are taking them this far, like Jordan Poole. And
Has Wiseman been going off?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard him.
I seen Moody's been doing. He'll give him like 8 at least.
Yeah, but Luka has been carrying Dallas, and all the finally the role players for Dallas are starting to step up.
Did you see Lil Wayne got into it with
Yeah, Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
What on which side?
I think it's bad on Wayne's side because he holds a grudge because in 2011, whenever LeBron and D Wade were all down in Miami, Wayne was always front row at the Miami games, and he went to Dallas after it was either after the playoffs or after the finals, and
After they lost, I think.
yeah, did their after party thing for him, and basically after that, LeBron was like, "Yeah, you're not sitting at the Heat games no more."
I think he got banned, is what I heard.
Yeah, he wasn't back in the arena for like a year after that, but I think he held that against Mark Cuban in Dallas, and I don't know, but I mean,
But what happened exactly?
he tweeted and said Luka's a hoe, and so Mark posted a picture of Wayne and his kid sitting courtside and put like some of Wayne's lyrics in the caption or whatever, and they were talking about it on Skip and Shannon.
Yeah,
show.
that's what I was about to say. I listened to it.
Yeah, and Skip defends Wayne to no end because they're
Shannon.
cool.
Shannon was like, "Listen, nephew,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?" And I felt what Shannon said.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like Skip was like just making any excuse he could, saying that
That's
it's because Wayne's kid was in the picture, man. And
Yeah,
I
I mean,
was like, that had
Shannon's
nothing
like,
to do
well,
with it.
you kind of did start it though.
Yeah,
You know, is that Undisputed is my favorite? I think.
yeah. I think
Well, at least between First Take and Undisputed,
Yeah.
Undisputed is my favorite.
I've started liking First Take with JJ Redick being on it now, but I still like Shannon. I think Shannon's the most unbiased for the most part.
Oh yeah,
Like he rides LeBron a little bit, but he still calls him out if he's.
he hasn't lately though. Like in
Yeah.
this last season, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to ride this year.
No, I know, but I'm saying like he ain't made no excuses or nothing like that, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and even though Skip is like one of the most biased people in sports, he's still entertaining.
I do love Skip.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
well, it seems like genuine, like, because I feel like in sports talk and all that, you kind of have to be able to debate because then how are you going to have a show? But I feel like when Skip says stuff, I think he genuinely like feels the way he does.
yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
I think he makes himself feel like that. Like, I think at first he like thinks of what can I say that's going to get people really pissed off at me.
Yeah.
But then the more he says it, the more he's like, yeah, this is how I feel.
What about like Stephen A versus Skip? Who are you taking?
Skip. For
Yeah,
sure.
man. I like Stephen A too, though. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't, but I do like Stephen A.
Stephen A's a little too. He's like a character like Skip too. Like he's playing a role, but he just I don't know.
His is his loudness. You know?
His loudness, and he thinks like he is very factual about his breakdowns and stuff like that. But he uses arguments to defend one player, but then if somebody else uses those arguments against someone he doesn't like,
Yeah.
he won't go for it. Like
When it kind of like, all right, so here's one I know you're going to want to talk about. When he said Kyrie should retire because he didn't want to get his vaccination or whatever.
yeah, I mean, with that whole thing, I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I don't think Kyrie should retire. I think he can still play at a high level. So clearly he shouldn't.
I mean, he's top 5 in the game.
But
for
if
sure.
I was a
Or
team,
7.
like if I was a good team, I wouldn't want anything to do with Kyrie. But if I was a trash team that needed to sell tickets, then yeah, for sure I'd sign Kyrie no matter how much of a headache he is. And I mean, now that all the vaccination stuff's going away and like the rules are being a little less strict and stuff like that,
right,
it shouldn't be as much of a problem. But like Kyrie, his problem wasn't just the vaccination. Like he straight up skipped games to go do a Zoom call for like a town hall meeting or something like that.
Yeah. And just his previous antics.
And like it's one thing to like be active in the, because I think some of the stuff that he was missing time for was like the George Floyd stuff and like the protests and all that stuff. And like it's one thing to be involved in that, but it's another thing when he just straight up didn't tell anybody. And like on game day, they're like, "Hey, where's Kyrie? Oh, he's not here." Like that's another thing. Like you can't be a pro athlete.
I think he looked at it as like, man, you're getting paid this, and this is your job, and you're not showing up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I felt him on that. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But even if you were like, man, he won't get his vaccination, you shouldn't judge him on that. I think it's like he's had a lot of stuff though.
Yeah, I mean ever since he left Cleveland, it's kind of been a downward thing for him. Like in Boston, Boston
was trash. Dude.
Yeah, and he basically got shown up by his first and second year teammates. Like Jason Tatum is the reason that team had a decent playoff run.
He was at Duke, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And then
was he at Duke at the same time?
No.
But just coming from that college is what you mean?
Yeah, like when Kyrie went to Boston, that was Tatum's first year, I believe. And I think Jaylen Brown had been there for 2 years at the time or something like that. But basically, like when they got into the playoffs, Kyrie got hurt, and Tatum was the one who took them deep. Like they shouldn't have had any wins in the playoffs without Kyrie, but they did, and then that's why they decided to move on from him. And honestly, the only reason that Brooklyn, I think, signed him in the first place is because that's who KD wanted to play with.
100%. That's what it was.
I don't think Brooklyn would have signed Kyrie or Harden if it wasn't for KD saying, like, everyone talks about how LeBron's a GM and stuff like that.
Well, he definitely wouldn't have got the max deal.
Yeah.
Like that.
No.
You know what I mean? Because you even see the first year at Brooklyn, he didn't do nothing.
Yeah. And
but I mean, and that's not taking nothing away from him, but like you're right on the Celtics things. What I was going to bring up was like, when I don't know if he got hurt or he just started, but I think he had a leg injury or something like that, and he stopped showing up, and they started doing better without him.
Yeah, they did.
So that shows me the locker room wasn't, that's a big deal,
Yeah, and that Brooklyn or that Boston team could have been so much better, but I think it was kind of doomed from the start because that trade wasn't a great move for. I mean, it was a great move for Boston because they got rid of Isaiah Thomas for Kyrie.
Thank God, dude.
But Gordon Hayward went down like first game of the season, I'm pretty sure.
I do like Gordon Hayward.
Gordon was the number 2 on that team. Like, he was the Kevin Love, like, that kind of level guy for that team. Right. And dude went down week 1. So that team was already at a disadvantage. And then Kyrie has been used to winning ever since he got in the league. So when they
he's cold.
Yeah,
for sure.
when they start losing, though, Kyrie stops caring. And it's he kind of reminds me of Antonio Brown in a lesser extent, because the further we've gotten into his career, the weirder and the more crazy shit he's been saying.
The fame, you think?
Yeah, and I think now it's just that he's a superstar and people will follow whatever he says. Yeah. So now he's not afraid to say that crazy shit.
Right.
If he wasn't,
he's
popular,
solidified in his eyes.
Yeah. If he started saying that stuff when he's a rookie, people would be like, okay, this dude's an idiot. But now that he's won a finals, been the best player on the team,
you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah,
right.
So he's not as out there as AB, but he's pretty close with some of his stuff.
Fucking AB, dude. AB is a top notch player, though, dude.
Yep.
But like that's actually a good analogy because it's like, even though a lot of people are like, man, somewhere like AB will get. Actually, when AB got cut from the Patriots and all that situation, yada yada yada, I'm like, man, someone might pick up AD or AB. But I always saw in the back of my head, if he went to the Pats with all that going on, Tom will get him. Because you see him when he was at Tampa the first year, he was getting everybody he wanted, Yeah. Which I'm not saying that's bad or nothing like that, but I'm like, I know he'll go somewhere because Tom Brady wants him. Yeah. Tom Brady gonna get what he wants. Like, what GM's gonna tell him no? You know what I mean? But now it's like, I don't know, dude. He's still a top-notch player. Nobody's taking that away from him. It's like, But you just can't have that in the locker room, I feel like.
Yeah, and honestly, it's...
Because why would he not do that for anybody else, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to see it like this, but, like, all of the stuff off the field that was getting him in trouble with Oakland, with the Patriots, and even when he started in Tampa, like, all that off-field stuff, the entire NFL was just kind of like, okay, he's crazy, but he's still good. But it wasn't until he took off his pads and his jersey in the middle of a game and walked off the field that NFL teams were really like, okay, yep, this dude's not coming here.
There's no way, bro.
You can't tell me that Green Bay or some other team, like Green Bay is the best example because they don't have a star receiver anymore. He's not elite anymore, but he's better than what AB.
Oh yeah.
But he's better than anyone that they have.
I mean, he's definitely really good.
Yeah. And he's not getting a $10 million contract.
Oh,
so there's no way.
No. Yeah. Not even just on ability, just on if he gets a job. There's no way nobody signed him more than a 1-year deal.
Yeah, he's a high risk player, so you're not giving him guaranteed money. You're not giving him anything. You're giving him, at best, the league minimum, and at worst, he's not getting a job. Like, did you see when Floyd Mayweather...
He talked about it. He was like, I'll tell you what, you pay him, and if he doesn't work out, I'll pay you the money or whatever.
And it's like, dude, because he said, y'all pay AB $20 million, and if he doesn't work out, I'll pay y'all $20 million. First of all, that would never happen. That's illegal.
No
and
way.
Second of all, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, those are the guys getting more than $20 million. AB is not getting...
No
half
way,
of that.
bro.
He's not getting a quarter of that. He's not worth it. Even without the trouble at age.
Oh, well, he's not getting more than a 2-year deal.
Yeah, exactly.
If he doesn't have the trouble.
Exactly.
I mean, he's getting older up in age.
Because Juju just signed a $10 million deal. So if Juju's worth $10 million at age 25, AB ain't worth.
Juju's only 25?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
He's sort of young, though, huh?
Yeah. I think he was 21 when he got in the draft. But the Steelers' main core of receivers is all like 23 to 25.
Who's your quarterback? Or the old boy y'all picked out of the draft?
Oh, yeah, Kenny Pickett. And we got Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I'd rather see him play than Kenny. I wanted us to get Malik Willis, but...
That's what people don't understand. Like, a lot of... Like, the only time I can think of just when rookies came out that just went in there and were, like, kind of dominant and just did good as a rookie was actually... we were in high school, bro. I think we were in 10th, 11th when RG3 and Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson. Like, but besides that, I mean, there's maybe a couple times, but I don't remember just a bunch of times where these teams just, or at least they could have had a good season, but I don't remember any of those, like, players that got drafted that made it even to a wild card besides that year.
Yeah, like...
There might have been a hit and miss, but just to have that many in that 1 year, 3 is a lot, really.
Yeah, and, I mean, also in that draft, you had Kirk Cousins, too, who didn't get to play.
I forgot.
He didn't get to play that first year, really, but, I mean, out of all of them, he's got the most stable career from that year, I think, because, I mean, Luck's gone, RG3's gone, but the thing is, the draft used to be, like, when you would take a quarterback with that number 1 pick or in the first round, they always used to sit behind somebody for a year, 2 years, even 3 years. Like, that's why Rodgers had such a good career, because they got to learn from somebody.
From Brett Favre.
But now all these teams wait. Like, Pittsburgh waited until the last second to take a quarterback.
What happened with their second string? What was his name?
Mason
Rudolph?
Yeah. He's still on the team. I don't think he will be at the start of the season, because you got a rookie and you got Mitch, who's getting paid like $8 million a year. But... Like,
I didn't know that.
And Pittsburgh also drafted another quarterback in the 7th round this year. I have no idea who he is or who he played for, but he's a scrambling quarterback, so he'll probably be the 3rd string just so that they can, like, practice against like a Lamar Jackson guy or something like that. But that's why all these rookies have been failing lately, is because, like, Trevor Lawrence thrown right into the starting job on a sorry team. Justin Fields.
Yeah, and he gets too much hate, man.
Yeah, he does. And also that was... Urban was awful there. I love Urban in Ohio State, me too. But in the NFL, and it wasn't even that his coaching was necessarily like awful. It's just that he's an idiot. Like,
all right. How about this? Nick Saban been in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
But was Nick Saban doing what he's doing in college in the NFL?
No.
It's a different game, man.
Yeah, it is.
We're not going to just about the game, but I'm talking about, like, in college, you got to go out there recruiting people out here. You're like free agency. It's a whole different game, man.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand.
In college, when you're a coach, you're mentoring, you're like a father figure to 18 to 21-year-old kids.
Right.
In the NFL, these are grown men that have been making money, making millions year after year after year. They're probably, the majority of them are making more money than you. So you're not mentoring them. You're not being a father figure. You're just the guy that tells them what to do. You're a boss in the NFL. That's what
it's a job, man. Yeah. It's a job.
Yeah. And some of them aren't built for that. Chip Kelly wasn't. Nick Saban wasn't. Urban Meyers wasn't. There's a lot of them that have a lot more success when it comes to college than the NFL. And that's, I mean, it also has to do with their offensive, defensive schemes, the way that they call plays and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure the biggest thing is just that they're trying to treat grown men like they're high school graduates, basically.
You talking about when a college coach goes to the NFL or something?
Yeah, like when they move up. And it'd be one thing to move up, take an offensive coordinator job, and then move up, because that's what most of these. And
that's not like I know there's NFL coaches that try to make an NFL and did a great job in college. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there might be real good NFL coaches that it's just a different game. Yeah. You know?
And I mean, it's way easier, in my opinion, to make the jump from the NFL to college from a coaching standpoint, but it's also more difficult in a sense of like the recruiting and all that stuff, because in the NFL, I mean, you kind of have to recruit, but for the most part, if you're a good team, players want to come there.
Right.
Like, for college, it's not even just the SEC, or it doesn't matter the conference. It just matters the school, the history, and like the title. Like USC hasn't been a powerhouse in years.
I think location too sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the thing with USC. Like they haven't been a powerhouse in a while, but they have history.
Right, absolutely. They got a beach.
Yeah,
and
they're in.
It's Cali. Yeah,
absolutely. But like that's why Harbaugh is doing so good in college, is because like
they hit on him too, man.
Yeah, when he was at the 49ers, like they weren't a great team until the end of his run there, when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Ravens. Still a bullshit game, but we'll get past that.
Flag. They should have threw that flag on.
But
I got you something actually for coming on. I wanted to give you that.
I don't know why I showed it to the microphone.
No, you're right though. I agree.
But yeah,
but you're not taking it away from me. But yeah, you're right.
At the 49ers though, Harbaugh was he was rebuilding a team, which is a lot more similar to what they have to do in college, because every 4 years you're at
Michigan
every year.
You talking about Jim?
Yeah. Every year at college you're rebuilding, because you have so many guys leave and so many new guys come in. So I think that's one of the reasons he had success, was because he rebuilt a team in the NFL and took that to college. But people say that he's not doing good in college because he's not winning national titles. Michigan wouldn't be anywhere near where they're at today without him.
Well, and what I was going to tell you too, bro, is because I feel that, because you were talking about how even though USC hasn't done anything, it's a historical place. Back in the day they were killing it. Yada yada yada. With Michigan was a powerhouse team, man.
Yeah.
And I know, being Arkansas and just all that, I'm biased for SEC, but back in the day, it wasn't like that. That's just the last 15 years. But, back in the day, it was, Michigan, Notre Dame, but they're still powerhouses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like their fans, though, when they go in there, they're expecting, because I bet Michigan and all them do get recruits and all that, or have a historical, in that. But I don't know. They were eating him up for the first year or two, and his second, maybe not his first year, but his second year, I think he brought him to a bowl game, but it wasn't the one. And you were talking about how they don't have a championship. I remember, what was Auburn's head coach? I don't know if it was last year.
Are you talking about the one that
he was at Springfield? Yeah. Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my stepdad, Danny. I'm like, man, why did they fire him? He's a great coach. He was like, well, they can't beat Alabama. I'm like, well, who else has beaten Alabama in the SEC?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe every once in a while, but I'm just saying, for me, I don't know. But that's why I'm saying the powerhouses back then, they're they can't accept no losses,
Yeah.
So it's but yeah, I agree with that. And I think Jim Harbaugh is a good, but I mean, besides the 49ers, when they went to the Super Bowl, I mean, what did they really do when Jim Harbaugh was there? I think he's actually doing pretty great. I take that back. He had Alex Smith.
Yeah,
remember Alex Smith? I take that back.
Yeah, their teams always
and Jamar Charles.
They were never no Frank Gore.
Didn't they have Jamar Charles too? I think they had Jamar
I
Charles
know he was
for a
in
little
Kansas
while.
City for a while, but
Maybe for like a year. I mean, but
they
did
had
have
Vernon Davis was the other big guy.
Okay.
The tight end from Maryland.
Yeah.
And he played for Washington too. But no, when he was with the 49ers, that was like when Russ first came into the league. So like I remember me and you had bets on it, like who was going to make the Super Bowl like the next year.
Yeah.
And I kept telling you it was going to be 49ers Seahawks on one side, and then I don't remember who was on the other side, probably New England. But
yeah.
But I know that like at least 2 or 3 years of that Kaepernick era, the 49ers were not like a dynasty team, but they were like one of the...
I mean, they were still solid, though.
Yeah, they were a top-tier team for those 3 years, basically. And then...
But, I mean, if you make a wild card or just a playoffs executively, like once or twice a year, you're solid.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't know. But, yeah, you're right. Like,
especially in that division, because back then that division was actually, like, it wasn't as stacked as some of them, but, like, it was San Francisco... Seattle, Cardinals, and who's the other one?
What division is? Say it again.
NFC West. So
is Chargers in there? No, that's AFC West. Say it again.
Oh, St. Louis or LA Rams.
Yeah,
they were the other team,
yeah.
and LA was. I mean, they were bad, but they weren't. They were never a bottom tier team. So like
they have fluke years too, though. Not
yeah.
fluke years, but they're like they.
But the Cardinals at that time were a decent team too, because that's when like Carson Palmer was their quarterback.
Okay,
he
yeah.
left Cincinnati and went there, and so like they basically
Julio used to be out there too, right?
No, he was at Atlanta.
Who am I thinking? Oh,
Larry
Fitzgerald. Yeah.
Yeah, him and they had that one dude that played for the Ravens too, Anquan Bolden.
Oh my god!
But he was like end of his career there.
Yeah.
But like that division had 3 teams that were able to win like 10, 11, 12 games a year. So, I mean, they were a good team while he was there. But then he goes to Michigan, and I don't know what his worst season there was. Probably 3 losses, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure 99% of programs in D1 football would take 9-3 or 8-3 or whatever it is over like anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I know winning, like if you win a national championship and then you're garbage for the next 10 years, like I guess that's okay. But I'm pretty sure most schools would rather be consistent, making a big 5 bowl game.
This is my LeBron debate, dude.
What?
Like MJ or LeBron?
LeBron.
Thank you. Thank you. Because like people say he went to the playoffs 6 times out of 6. He won.
Yeah,
and LeBron.
It's so stupid.
But yeah, I agree because that's a team effort.
Yep.
And 2, bro, you're not gonna tell me LeBron was not dominant since we've been watching.
Yep.
And on top of that, it's like, okay, Giannis, they're like comparing him to be like the next LeBron, or just saying that's the big guy, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he had that closeout game last year, and I'm not taking nothing away from Giannis. Giannis is cold, but like LeBron didn't miss a championship for like 10, 11 years. And if you didn't see LeBron in a championship, it was or in the playoffs, it was because of injury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if he wasn't losing, like, what is he, 4-7 or something like that? Point is, he went to a way more championships than MJ.
Yeah.
And he had to play Golden State. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to take away from the Spurs. They had Tim Duncan, had a baby Kawhi for some of that, too.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, Duncan, Kawhi, Ginobili, and they had another one. I can't think of his name. But that's what I always argue, too. I'm like, you'd rather be 6-0. Like, if LeBron wins 2 more rings, that ends the debate right there. Because 6-6 is better than 6-0, and I don't care what anyone says.
I agree. That's 12 championships.
Yeah. Just because you lost 6 of them, that's still 6 of them that you were the second best. That's 6 more than Michael got.
I agree. And I another thing I would say is just the accolades. 1, the 3-1 deficit against Golden State. MJ never had played no Golden State. I'm not saying he might not have won one, but he's not coming back from that. When they had their team and MJ left Chicago, I don't know if it's the first time or second time, but one of the times they still made it to the first round. You go back and look at any team LeBron's ever left. They're at least for Cleveland, I don't know what Miami was. They were trash, but when he left Cleveland, they were the worst team. And on top of that, the last one where they got swept by Golden State, dude, he had nobody. Trash team. Trash. They even traded halfway through the season to get some young players, just some shooters in there. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't even made it to the second round. Yeah. LeBron was the only reason they were.
Yep.
And it's just, to me, it's like, dude, let's just say this. Take away all the stats, take away all the rings. Just one-on-one, who would be more dominant both in their prime? There's no way you're going to tell me MJ would beat LeBron.
Yep, and everybody uses the same argument. They'll say that LeBron's too soft in a one-on-one game, that blah, 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 this and that. No, he wouldn't. LeBron physically he would dominate Jordan
because he
physically.
bitched. MJ bitched.
Yeah. And take away flops, take away anything, just compare the two by their size. LeBron is more like, he's like the first NBA player that looks like he should be in the NFL. Like, he's jacked.
Oh, well, he damn sure looks like he could go to the NFL and have a decent career.
Yeah, and as physical as Michael wants to play, LeBron could take it.
Well, he's smaller than him, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, drastically, you know? I'm not taking nothing away from MJ. If somebody said, okay, I think MJ's the GOAT, but LeBron's second, that's cool with me, because it's like, you're going to debate that, whatever, you know, because my dad would debate that. But it's when people are like, he's not even in my top 5. Yeah. It's like, are you serious, bro?
And I hate this one the most, and it sucks to say it, but when people put Kobe over LeBron.
Oh, I agree.
First of all, everyone that thinks that, you're thinking that because of his untimely death. That's what it is.
Nobody was doing that before.
And nobody wants to argue with you because of how he died and all that. So you basically get a free pass for a win right there for saying something stupid. Because Kobe, he was a great player. He's one of the top 20 of all time, maybe top 10. I can't compile.
Worth ethic like top 3 though. That's what people base it off of though.
I can't. You know what I mean? I can't agree with top 3. I can't agree with top 5. Maybe top 10, just because I can't go back and think of players from the 70s and 60s that played against farmers and plumbers and stuff like that.
I don't know if I put Kobe over Kareem, though.
See, I mean, I know a lot about Kareem. I know his stats and everything, but I just don't know. Like, I've watched LeBron play my whole life. I've watched Steph Curry play. I've watched Kobe play for at least half of his career.
Right.
So, like, those guys, it's more than just stats. Like, you definitely have to have seen the player and, like, to get an understanding of how they played, because if you're going off stats, Kobe could be a top 5 player, but that's because the stats don't tell you that this dude would chuck up 50 shots a game and make 20.
You're going to see how he scored 84 on Jalen Rose or 88, whatever, you know? Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing to take away from him. He's great, you know? Yeah. It's just like, he's not LeBron, bro.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people too. It's like, when everything was going on with George Floyd and all that, and LeBron was just speaking up, and I think everybody has the right to speak however they want to speak, you know, and that's just, everybody will like kill me for saying, or like trying to say something about me for saying that, probably you too, but dude, I mean, he has a right to say whatever, but I'm saying, I feel like a lot of people that were saying LeBron was better than MJ won't say it now because he started getting into politics, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
and that's the thing, like, anything with sports, like, it happens, I see it a lot more with, like, movies and stuff now, but anytime that an actor, actress, athlete, anyone talks about politics, if it's what, like...
what you don't agree with.
Yeah, for all the fans, if it's what they don't agree with, I won't watch their movies. I won't watch that league or whatever. And I'm like, it's just the stupidest argument, because it's like,
we're talking sports.
Nobody agrees.
You say we don't want to talk politics. Let's just talk about the sport. But then you tell me you don't like him because of what he's bitching about his. But that's not the sport.
Yep. And trust me, if for 90% of those people, if LeBron were to say something that they did agree with, they would be the first ones to be like, "Yep, look at that. LeBron said it, so y'all should believe it too." But it's like, that's what I don't understand. Like, if an athlete has a different opinion, then it's brushed to the side. But if they share the same opinion as that same person, then that person will put it on a pedestal until they say something else that they don't agree with. And then it's back to square one. Like, that's how Kanye
Brad be all over him.
Kanye was that, like... Kanye was that... like the best example of that, because everyone said he was crazy, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then he started showing up with Trump and stuff like that. Yeah. So then Trump's fans started to like Kanye. Then when Kanye turned and went back to his normal self, they all flipped and were like, Kanye's an idiot. Why did we ever listen to him? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, you can't like.
I'm telling you, you're right, because I remember when he started going on the Trump and all that. I remember Trump had an interview and all that, and Fox News were like, honestly, Kanye, he was saying a lot of the right things. I'm like, but it's not even that he wasn't saying the right things in the review. Like, in my eyes, I'm like, bro, y'all don't give a fuck about him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but why are y'all even like promoting what he's saying when y'all are like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I agree, dude. Like,
and like around that same time too, I remember Taylor Swift had a thing where she, I guess she lives in Tennessee or something, and I don't remember exactly what the story was, but she was supporting like some Democrat mayor or congressman or something like that. She was supporting some Democrat for her state because of some policy they had. And they flipped so fast.
Turned on her.
Saying that she wasn't a country singer, that she's sold out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
dude.
Y'all are literally riding Kanye right now. But because Taylor Swift has one different opinion, you're disowning her. Like,
but I look at it too. It's like that. Did you watch Space Jam 2?
Yeah.
We'll get into that, but like I remember one of the first things was he brought, like when it was going on, showing all his accolades and all that. He had that tweet that said "just shut up and dribble" or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, why do y'all if y'all feel that way and y'all are mad because an athlete, because they'll be like, man, they just need to shut up and dribble, just do their sport. But why are y'all getting so mad about it? Why are y'all taking this guy serious then? Like,
yeah, and like the person who said that, I think it was Laura Ingraham, one of the Fox News ladies.
Yeah.
I can't stand her, but setting that aside, like her telling him to shut up and dribble, why does anyone listen to you? It's not like she has any, like, she probably has the same level of education as half the players in the NBA. Like, I know some of them didn't go to college, some of them went after 1 year, but you don't have to have that many qualifications to be a news reporter. All you have to do is be able to read.
But I'm just saying, like, if you decided, Ron Beegle decides he wants to get into politics, he wants to run for president, are you really going to look at Kanye West or LeBron for how you're going to get your... That's what I'm saying. Why are they getting so
Dave
mad?
Chappelle had a bit on this a long time ago. I think it was on the Chappelle Show, but it might have been one of his comedy specials.
Yeah.
But he was like, how come every time that something tragic happens, we have to look for a celebrity for the answers? And I think it was around Hurricane Katrina or something. He was like, the hurricane hit, all these people are homeless. Where is Ja Rule? Where is Ja Rule? What is his opinion on what's going on? Like, that's what I think is hilarious. Like, anytime that you make an educated decision on something, you stick with your gut, you do research, you do this, you do that. You don't listen to your favorite movie star, your favorite athlete. So when they say something you don't like, why are you even listening? Like, there's no point in, like...
I'm going to give you the biggest one, bro. So, Brad Williams, you know how Brad is. He was playing Rap God and all that, you know, yada, yada, yada. Everybody likes Eminem. But then Eminem does that Trump thing, you know, with the whatever. But all of a sudden, people are like, fuck Eminem. Like, but I'm like, bro, why? They're like, he's going against conservative. I'm like, listen, did y'all not listen to Eminem's old stuff? He's always dissed presidents, you know, like Hillary Clinton, all Bill Clinton, like George. He's like this, like, why are y'all getting so offended now? But why are y'all looking at Eminem as a god? Like, this is, what should I say? Like, why do you look at Eminem as someone to choose your beliefs, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. And the whole point of, like, any time that he's done stuff like that in the past, I'll admit that the Trump one was way more direct. Like, I mean, it was entirely made to...
But that's how he felt.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you can't knock it. Like, nobody can or should.
I mean, he's from Detroit, too. But do you think Detroit was voting for Trump? I mean, Michigan might, but you think the city of Detroit was voting?
Yeah, probably not. But, I mean...
Either way, it's his opinion.
Especially, like... But the thing is, with that, like... Even no matter how direct he was, and he's talked about it later on, saying like he had that one verse where he said he wished he wouldn't have drawn a line in the sand and blah blah blah. Like, you can't mess with him or you can't hate on him for saying what he felt, doing what he felt, because that's how he felt at the time, and everyone makes impulsive decisions, and just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean that you can't automatically, after 20 years of listening to him, stop liking his music.
Bro, like, his first album, his first single, My Name Is, he's like, I don't give a fuck. God sent me to piss the world off. Why are y'all worried about what Eminem is saying about politics?
Exactly. Like, and it's okay to think that something he says is stupid or this and that. When Eminem talks about beating his kids or beating his mom or his wife or whatever,
put him in the trunk.
Nobody says anything.
That's what I'm saying.
But when he gets into politics, that's when people get butthurt, and that's what I don't understand.
That's what's crazy though. It's like I don't look at this person at, like, when I look at Eminem say something, I look at him as like somebody says he's better. Somebody's better than Eminem or something like that. Like, Eminem, I'm looking for you to roast this person or something like that. Yeah. But when Eminem talks about like politics or something like even when that happened, they were like, Eminem just did that for sales, for revival or whatever. I'm like, bro, most of his, not all of his audience, but a lot of his audience is white. Why the hell would he do that? You know what I mean? It's like, that's just me, man.
Yeah. And honestly, like, most of the stuff that comes out with all the political stuff like that, he wasn't going out to like attack anyone for their beliefs. He was just letting people know what he thinks, what he feels, and that he doesn't personally mess with you if you...
I mean, he did say, if you're a fan of Trump, then fuck you.
Yeah.
But that's Eminem, dog.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it'd be different if somebody... Like, if Taylor Swift said that, then yeah, that'd be one thing, because she's never been like that before. But Eminem has always
Who cares, though,
been
is what I'm
way.
saying.
Yeah. It just doesn't make much sense.
But I'm saying people that don't even listen to Eminem don't care about Eminem or like ready to riot over Eminem doing that. You know what I mean?
That's the biggest thing I can't stand. When people that have no connection to anything see them like if you've never worn Nike, but then you hear that Nike supported something that you don't like
when Colin,
then they'll go out and buy Nike stuff or get on Facebook and talk about Nike stuff, and I'm like, why this doesn't affect you at all? Like, I get it. If
Nike you're saying like if a big company, like when I think Yeti, like coolers, a bunch of rednecks buy that, you know. But I mean, a bunch of people buy it. But like, I think they were supporting the LGBT community. They're like, well, I won't have that ice. Yeah, I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude?
And it goes both ways. Like, it's not just
and it's business, bro. So who cares?
Like, but people that do that, like, it's not just one side's fans or people that do that. Like the Chick-fil-A stuff when they came out that the owner was against gay marriage or something like that. Democrats were pissed at that and wrote Facebook posts about that. And it was stupid, just like it's stupid when people attack Nike for whatever they want to do. And then people...
It goes both ways, though. And both sides do that.
And, like, that's what's going on with the LeBron thing, too. When people talk about his... what is it? Like when we were talking about how he had the whole George Floyd thing and all that stuff. Well, now whenever LeBron says something, if someone defends him, someone else comes back, and instead of going back to the George Floyd thing, they'll start bringing up China or something like that. And it just makes no sense. Every argument that somebody has.
Well, and you could argue too, man. Like the Chick-fil-A thing you just talked about. There was a bunch of people. So basically, what happened was the owner said that, like, he didn't say that you shouldn't be gay or like he's against it. He just said that, like, in my beliefs, I just don't agree with it. Mm-hmm. And he's entitled to say that. Yeah. But what I'm trying to get at is, so like when the George Floyd thing was going on, they have they're entitled to their own opinion. And my mom was like, because you remember when the George Floyd and they were in the bubble and all that, and they took like, I think that was at Minnesota. You remember the Minnesota shooting that happened during the playoffs, and they were like, we're not going to play and all this because they're like fighting against whatever. It's like, she's like, they get paid all this money. They don't do that. I'm like, but y'all use y'all's voice to say stuff too. Why is that different? Yep. To me, it just feels like y'all are jealous because they're making good money.
Yeah, and that's always been my argument when people say that athletes make too much or this or that and they act spoiled.
They don't really know what's going on, though.
And people will say, like, an athlete shouldn't be paid $10 million when a teacher only makes $40,000. And I'm friends with a lot of people that teach. I do think they should get paid more, but it's not an athlete's fault that they're not getting that money. The fans pay to see those athletes. If the athletes are making less money, that doesn't mean teachers would get more money. That means that the people who own the athletes would be getting paid more than they already are. And
Right.
they're already millionaires. And
Well, dude, especially like football is like the biggest sport in America. Okay, so I'm not saying AB has CTE, but you see like a bunch of players like after like in their like if not 40, early 30s going in that state of mind, man.
yeah.
So it's like I don't know, dude. Anyways, we're gonna take a pause real quick. Back again. Yeah. What's up?
What up?
So the next one I want to talk about, we're talking about sports. What do you think about I seen you post about Deontay Wilder and Fury at one point. I think it was before the Fury and Wilder 3. But you remember Wilder is making claims about the gloves or whatever?
Yeah.
What? So tell me your opinion on that. Or at least do you think that happened, or if it didn't?
I don't think it happened, and I just think I don't remember the exact story what he was accusing them of. I just know that he was saying that there was something wrong with the gloves, that they felt hard, and that they weren't properly checked or whatever. But that happened in boxing back in the day. That today, that kind of stuff doesn't happen. They don't get away with it. There's so many steps that they go through to check that kind of stuff. And, like, I forget who it was, but somebody's career was basically ended because they got punched in the face with, like, plastered gloves where they had stuff on the inside.
I know Floyd had a couple of accusations on people that he said, or at least one.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, now I remember. He said that what Tyson did was request, I think it's duck feather stuffed gloves or something like that. Like, it's something where it's stuffed with, like, an object that, like, can move around and all that. So he said that when Tyson was punching his own gloves, he's, like, moving the stuff to the side so that his knuckles were exposed so that there was less padding when he gets hit in the face. But
he said more than that.
But like that isn't, there's no cheating even if that did happen because that's what they agreed to. They agreed to those gloves. They're legal gloves. So it might be like looked down upon, maybe you could say that. Like it could be an unwritten rule. I don't know boxing. I don't know.
And they got so many rules.
Yeah, like in baseball they have all these stupid unwritten rules that people know by heart. But boxing, I don't know what their unwritten rules are.
Right.
But if they agreed on those gloves and Tyson found a way to make them work to his advantage, it's completely legal, completely fair.
Well, what happened with that is Tyson thought they took padding out. And he thought, with what you're saying, they thought they had some kind of, like, instead of cotton, had, like, some kind of feathers, like some off-the-wall stuff, okay? And you got to think, this dude was like, I don't know if it was 44-0 or like 32-0 or like something in 0, but he knocks out everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he thought that, and you could even go back and watch the video. He made a good case when he hit the dude. His like glove went that way when he was hitting him. You know what I mean? But the thing about it was after he made that case, he made about 7 different cases as well. Like, did you watch that fight?
Yeah.
Wilder and Fury 2?
Yep.
Well, Wilder came out there with like this like knight's armor, like and he said that it was too much weight and it hurt his leg or something. But you just see how many like claims he made and all that.
Yeah, that's what it was for me. He lost credibility because he tried to make excuses after every single thing that went wrong for him. Like he lost that second fight, so he blamed it on his gear that he picked out himself.
Right.
He'd probably worn it times before to see what it felt like.
Right.
But when he lost the fight, it became an issue. And then same with the third.
So when you have an undefeated fighter like that, especially on his caliber, because I still love Deontay Wilder. Don't get me wrong, he's still a bad dude. He's just not beating Tyson Fury. Yeah. Tyson Fury on a different level. But like with Deontay Wilder, before that rap sheet, he knocked out every opponent, and the only opponent he fought that he didn't knock out, it went to it was either unanimous or a split, and he wound up winning, but then he wound up fighting him again and knocked him out. So, I mean, in boxing history, they say that Deontay Wilder has the hardest hitting hit in history. So that coming along, you know, he's like, I'm the baddest dude, you know? Yeah. How often do you think in boxing sports or in combat sports, when somebody on that caliber, just somebody that's undefeated and they take their first loss, how bad do you think that messes with them? It's got to, bro.
Yeah, it's got to also depend on what stage of their career they're at. Like, if Floyd lost 10 years ago, I feel like it would destroy his whole character because he's always had an ego and he's always been the best, and that's what he's acted like for his whole career.
Right.
So if he would have lost 10 years ago when he was still a fairly young fighter, that would have been one thing. But, like, if Floyd lost now, nobody would care. Everyone knows he's an old dude. He's not in his prime. He's not really a boxer anymore.
What if he had lost to Pacquiao?
Yeah, if he would have lost to Pacquiao, then his career trajectory wouldn't have been anywhere near what it is now.
I mean, I don't think that would have, like, counted him out. It's just he bases himself off of being undefeated.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
His record was his gimmick. Like, that was all he was.
And that's Floyd.
Yeah.
You know?
Because his boxing style wasn't exciting. He wasn't knocking dudes out.
Oh, he's really boring.
Yeah, exactly. So that record is what drew eyes to the TV. That's what sold pay-per-views, was the record and people wanting to see it get broken.
Well, yeah, because they wanted to see Floyd lose.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what made him money.
Yep.
That's why the Paul brothers make it. Not so much Logan, but Jake. Well, actually, let me ask you this. This is something I want to talk to you about. What do you think about Jake Paul in boxing?
I think he is better for the sport than 90% of the people that are pro fighters.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I told you earlier, Brett called me. He's like, yeah, you got to get him on there. I was like, bro, I need to get him on here, and I'm excited for it because I'm going to debate him. But, bro, we are on the same page for the last couple of times. Bro, Jake Paul is about it.
Yep.
I'm like, Jake Paul knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it, I'm not saying Jake Paul has, like, I think he's basically a cruiserweight and all that, right? Or somewhere around that. You know, he's not heavyweight. He's somewhere around there, though. He's probably like 200, maybe a little bit, maybe a buck more than that, something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that he has, because did you watch the Tyron Woodley too?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, to be honest with you, and even the first one, like, it didn't show a lot of skill, but I'll tell you that second one, it shows you, and his other fights, even though they weren't Tyron Woodley, it shows you he has knockout power, too.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing about boxing is, like, a lot of sports, you can kind of pick it up as you go along. You can practice soccer, you can practice football, but boxing is the one sport where you learn from experience. So the more you fight, the better your skills get, the more used to the pressure you get. So I don't think he could be a legit world champion. I don't think he could beat a Canelo or something, but he's good enough.
He's doing good for what he's doing.
Yeah, like if he wasn't a YouTuber and he was just doing this out of the blue, if he was a person that nobody had ever heard of, he's good enough to be a middle card kind of guy. Like, he would be on the pay-per-views.
I think he could definitely, like, so his record's like 5-0, 6-0, something like that.
Yeah.
I think he could definitely fight maybe a 6. Okay, all right. So the Tommy Fury was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You remember all that?
Yeah.
I think he beats Tommy Fury.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think Tommy's maybe a little bit more skilled, but I think, all right, so here's Jake. He actually did an interview with Stephen A. I don't know if you've seen that, but Stephen A. was like, look, man, I'm just going to tell you right now, Jake Paul, I'm not saying you don't have knockout power. I'm not saying this and that, but he was like, you're fighting UFC fighters and yada, yada. Jake's like, bro, I try to fight a legit boxer, Tommy Fury. He comes from the Fury dynasty and yada, yada, yada. He was like, while I was on Disney and doing all that, they were doing this and UFC winning championships and all that. But he says, man, if you go and look at Mike Tyson or Ali or any of them, Floyd Mayweather, you can't tell me the first 5 fights they had. And he's right about that.
Yep.
But they also didn't have that spotlight at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I really, and like, did you watch the Tyson Fury and Dillian White or highlights or anything like that?
Yeah.
So basically, the first fight on that venue, and they went to Wembley. It was actually in London. And they sold it out. It was like almost 100,000 people were at that. It's like, I don't know what soccer teams in London.
Tottenham and Arsenal.
Well, one of them teams is the Wembley Stadium, and like soccer is big outside of like United States, so they have big stadiums. Anyways, this was huge, you know. But he was the first fight on that whole card. And when he showed up, I was excited to watch him just because I've been watching boxing and fighting and all that, so I'm excited. But, like, you go and you see Tommy, he was fighting a trash can. I don't know if you've seen them highlights neither. But he had a good jab. He looked good and all that. But this dude looked like a trash can.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was.
Yep.
But and I have no doubts Jake Paul will knock this dude out. Now, technically, I think Tommy and all that, like, technically is better than Jake, but I think Jake will probably knock him out. And on top of that, I just don't think that Tommy is ready for the audience they're going to pull in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but what I'm also saying with that, before you go on, is that when he showed up, he was the first fight. They had that whole Wimbledon stadium. I think it was 94 to 100,000 sold out. But when he first showed up, you could see there was not very many fans in the stadium yet.
Yeah.
So Jake Paul is like, y'all are telling me this, but he backed out of my fight, and he doesn't sell a fight, man.
Yep. See, a lot of people after the Nate Robinson fight, because I believe I think Nate Robinson was the first main one, and then Ben Askren was next.
Yeah, he fought a YouTuber, but Nate was a big one that really
after the YouTube fights.
Well, on top of that, it was the Mike Tyson retirement when he came back and fought. Yeah, so they were,
But people kept saying, fight boxers if you think you're so good, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Boxers that are around the same record as him that he should be fighting, nobody knows who they are. So they're
not pulling no revenue in.
Yeah, there's no point.
Right.
The fighters that are worth as much money as him that makes sense for a fight don't want to fight him, because if they do lose to this guy,
right,
that's their career. If Canelo lost to Jake Paul, he would never be taken seriously again, because people don't respect Jake Paul, and in proxy, they wouldn't respect the fighter that loses to him. So that's why none of these, like, not even the biggest names in boxing, but none of these names in boxing that are on the come up want to fight him, because he could end their career by beating them.
Absolutely.
Because people don't think that you can do more than one thing.
But that being said, too, I still think that Jake could probably fuck around and fuck with some of these guys, dude. Yeah. Really. He's got knockout power, man.
Yep, and his skills are nowhere near perfected, but every fight he looks more and more like a legitimate boxer.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't seem like he's doing this for the fun of it anymore.
No, like he takes it serious.
Yeah, like the Nate Robinson fight, and definitely the YouTuber fight,
and Ben Askren, and
like it looked, but definitely for the Nate Robinson fight, you could see that he was starting to be like, "This is a big deal. There's a lot of eyes on me."
Well, he did that too to bring the publicity in.
Yeah, but as it started going on, as the opponents got more legitimate, like Ben Askren, he looks like a normal dude, but
I would tell you, Jake was a underdog.
Yeah, he was. And
I told him, I was like, bro, he's gonna knock him out.
Yep, and then especially the Tyron Woodley one, nobody thought he should have won that fight, because
the first one.
Yeah, because Tyron is a proven athlete. He's a proven combat sports fighter, and he's won world titles. Not in boxing.
Do you think Tommy would beat Tyson or Tyron Woodley?
Probably.
Okay. My bad. He probably beat him. Do you think he would have put on a performance like that?
No way.
Because
he would have.
I think Tommy Fury, exactly. I think he would have tired him out. He would have looked better as a boxer, but he would have not knocked out. Because I even watched Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was like, "Bro, y'all can say what you want." But Tyron didn't get knocked out. Like, he's like, maybe once in like UFC and all that, but he's like, he ain't never got embarrassed like that.
Yeah, Tyron.
You know what I mean?
Like, he's taken harder hits in the UFC regularly. Those gloves in the UFC are way thinner. The punches are way less. There's less padding. He's taken shots way harder than he would take in boxing his whole career, and all it took was one to put him down. And
no, he put him down though. You know.
And a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen the things, but people make videos and stuff and say that it was scripted.
Oh my god, dude! It gets annoying, bro.
They're like, "Did you see Jake Paul touched his elbow? That made Tyron know that it's time."
Or he lowered it down, or what, bro?
I'm like, that's so dumb.
I also seen too, like, you go to Tyron Woodley's page. I don't know if you could still look at it now, but at the time, and there's a description, there's a little info, little catalog. He's like stunt man, so people were like, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't, but Tyron Woodley is a very respected guy in UFC. Yeah. He's going Hall of Fame. He's one of the best. Was he welterweight? Something like that? No, probably higher than that. But whatever belt he was in, he was in there, and he ran it for a minute. So you're gonna tell me you're gonna let YouTuber? I mean, he probably got 1 million, maybe 2 off of him, but like to get embarrassed like that, to do it on purpose, he probably would have had at least took like $6 million.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
If anyone was going to take the dive for the money, it would have probably Ben Askren, because his career's been over for a lot
that's
longer.
cool. No one cares about Ben Askren.
Yeah,
you know?
But Ben, I feel like Tyron, like, I don't think he likes Jake Paul or anything like that. Tyron Woodley. I don't think he likes Jake Paul, but like
he respects him.
They had that interview where Jake Paul gifted him a Rolex.
Yeah.
And he said it's because it's time to knock you out or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you could see that like those were two guys that were.
Well, he respected him.
Yeah, they were cool. Like, they didn't hate each other. The beef was for show. It wasn't like a personal
because that first fight could have went either way.
Yeah. And
you know,
they both earned each other's respect, but Ben Askren definitely didn't like Jake Paul. Like, he did not.
Did not.
He would not want anything to do with him. That's why when he got knocked out, he left the ring. It was gone. So there's no way he took a dive for like. But
that was not fake.
I'm saying he wouldn't have taken a dive for him because he does not respect him in any way. And
right.
He wouldn't have done it. If he did, he would have told everyone.
That's what I'm saying. Like. And that's a sport, like, you can't just, like, get up. I mean, maybe if you just have it. But I didn't realize that Jake and Logan were that athletic before they started YouTubing.
Yeah, because they were both, like, high school wrestlers.
Yeah, but Logan was, like, really good at wrestling.
Yep. That's why they both have always said that they want to have UFC fights. And Logan, I watch his podcast all the time, Impulsive.
My favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best. Shout out to Mike.
Yes, dude. Do you like Mike?
Yeah, I've read his book.
Thank God, bro. That's my favorite one. On all of them.
Everyone shits on him. I don't know.
I know. God damn. I did not realize we'd be agreeing this month.
He's the best one. For
I
sure.
think so. I agree.
I do understand it is a little hard for every podcast to hear. I used to do heroin back in 1980, but that's why everyone gets on him. But I don't know. He's the best. But they just had Dana White on there not too long ago.
Yeah.
And like, Jake's gone at Dana a lot, like posting like the pictures in a bald cap with cocaine on his face and stuff.
No, he had a music video. Yeah.
But Dana was talking to Logan, and Logan was like, would you ever have Jake in the UFC? And he basically was like, I never say never, and I never let personal stuff get in the way of business. So
because he knows.
Yeah, because
he knows,
if
bro.
It means money is going to be made, then it's going to happen. So
he knows, bro.
And UFC might be harder for him to get into.
Right.
Because of all the different styles and all the different techniques. Like boxing, there's different styles, but you just have to learn your style.
Right.
UFC, you have to learn what your opponent's doing too. So it's a little less easy to kind of jump right into a UFC fight, especially because even a low-tier UFC fighter that you haven't heard of is still trained. They're probably a black belt or at least a high.
I think with Tyron, man, like, I'm not saying that he's just a born boxer and all that, but he's definitely a striker and he's definitely a combat sports like athlete, you know?
Yeah.
I definitely think that he could fuck up some people that's with Jake Paul's record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even the first fight, dude, like, that could have went either way, bro.
Yeah.
That could have went either way. And to be honest with you, the second fight, I literally was telling Brett, and he kind of like, took him down, he threw him illegally and all that, and he busted his head and all that. But I was like, bro, to be honest with you, Tyron's winning right now. And then Jake knocked him out. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He might not be technical, but I think Tyron could probably mess with in that level. He ain't gonna fight no like top tier like boxer and all that. But I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know what happens when Jake Paul fights a box. What happens if Jake Paul did fight Tommy and he knocked him out? What happens then? What do they say then?
I still think they're making excuses.
100%.
Definitely. Jake Paul is kind of the LeBron of this new boxing scene.
Damn, that's a big statement.
It's definitely could be not. I'm not saying it in the.
He's definitely got more views than a lot of these boxers.
It's not. I'm not comparing his greatness in boxing to LeBron's greatness in basketball. I'm comparing it to.
You're talking about his hype?
No, I'm comparing it to. No matter what LeBron does, the people that don't like him will never like him.
Right.
And if he does something that they use as an argument against him and it goes away, they'll just come up with a new one.
Right.
So that's all that they do with Jake Paul. And it doesn't matter. He could beat an actual champion in boxing and people would still have something to say. They would still have a reason that he's not.
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
But yes, I get what you're saying.
Not.
They're gonna shit on Jake Paul no matter what.
Like, I'm not saying if he won a title, then yes. But like, if he,
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, it's just crazy to see how good he's done. Though.
Yeah.
Like even if he goes and his next fight's a boxer, just the fact that like what he's doing, he did a promotion with those two girls, Amanda Serrano, and all that.
He's
made
running
it happen.
businesses where those like he signed
so
those
I
girls
respect
and
him
stuff.
100%.
Like, and that's the thing that I don't think people get about him and his brother, because they're both still seen as YouTubers or Vine stars, TikTok, all this crap.
Neither one of them even do that though.
Yeah, and they're both insanely wealthy because they own businesses, they run stuff.
Have you drank Prime yet?
Yeah.
It's fire, ain't it?
Yep. Red Prime.
Which one?
Is the way to go.
Red. I like red too.
Justin loves the blue.
That's my least favorite.
Yeah.
And they say
like
that's
purple.
their like biggest one.
Yeah, the blue's been sold out.
I like
everywhere.
the lemon lime too.
Yeah, I just think purple, or it's either orange or purple, whichever one it is the worst.
Well, I'm not saying orange was bad. I just don't like flavor, but just in general, that's a great. Because a lot of times, like famous people would just put their name on something. But bro, it's
proper 12.
Yeah, proper 12 or 50 cents of vodka or something. Anyways, but yeah, bro, it's really good, man.
Yep.
It's 20 calories or something like that.
Yeah. 2
carbs of sugar.
Yep.
You're basically drinking water.
Yeah. I mean, it tastes just like Gatorade, except it's not.
It's sweeter.
Loaded down.
Is it sweeter to you?
Yeah, it's a little sweeter. It tastes more like a pre-workout kind of energy drink,
like G3 or something. like that. Yeah,
but like not with all the powdery nastiness to it. Like it's a good drink.
But I'm telling you, like, because I like lemon lime Gatorade, and I'm like, man, I drank the Prime, then I drank Gatorade. I'm like, this makes Gatorade watered down. Yeah. Like, really?
I mean, to me, for me, honestly, Powerade is my number one.
I like Powerade too.
It's only red Powerade though. I won't drink anything else. But that's always going to be my number one. But Prime has definitely surpassed Gatorade.
But I'm just saying, you look at just some celebrities coming out with some, and just their contents of like their calories and all that. It would surprise you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's good, man.
And
it's sweet. It's really sweet.
Usually when a celebrity puts their name on something, one, they have nothing to do with it, and two, it's usually garbage. Like, G-Eazy had that vodka that Yellow Wolf wrote about, or rapped about. I forget what it was called, but Yellow Wolf did that Bloody Sunday freestyle.
Oh, yeah.
And then Conor McGregor's Proper 12. I've
Proper
had
12. Brett hates it.
It's nothing.
But Brett also hates Conor, but he said it's trash, dude.
Yeah, like I know some people that literally people that say that that's their favorite drink are just saying it because of
Conor
the
McGregor.
name on it. Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens, though. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's why Hollister was cool.
That's why I said that 50 Cent, too. He's got effing vodka.
Yeah.
Everybody I reviewed on, and I tried it. It's fucking terrible.
It's just, it's the same thing with why Hollister shirts were cool in middle school.
Right. Rock Revival, like, they're not worth $150.
Yeah. If it doesn't, if you had a blue shirt with a little bird on it, that meant you were cool.
But that's what I'm saying. His product is actually, like, with his name, it's good. Dude.
Yeah.
And I've seen it at Walmart. Because I remember, because I watch Impulsive too, bro. That, honestly, because I watch podcasts and all that, but, like, they're my favorite, man, to be honest with you. Yeah. I used to love Joe Rogan. I still love Joe Rogan. I don't know if you ever watched Joe Rogan, but he's just been more political lately.
Yeah, he's super political.
It's not even that. It's just like he just haven't had good guests besides politicians. You know?
Joe Rogan, my thing with him is after, what's it been, 2,000 episodes or something, everything sounds the same now. Like, he's talked about everything he can talk about. He's asked every guest if they've ever tried DMT, and
yeah, exactly.
That's basically how every podcast goes now. And like, I still watch, like, if Joe Rogan has like Andrew Schulz and all of his comedy buddies on,
I love
and they're
Andrew
just
Schulz.
talking shit. I
like what's the other one? Used to be in UFC too.
Brendan Shaw.
Yeah, I do love that motherfucker.
Everyone hates on him. I still don't. I think it's because he's like a good-looking dude.
I love that motherfucker.
Like, I think people just hate on him because he doesn't look like he's tough or something.
But no, I think Impulsive, man. Like, and I like Nelk Boys too. But I think they're getting better. But like when Nelk Boys first dropped, because I like their old shit. You know what I mean? Just what they did.
Yeah.
But I think their podcast was all right. But bro, Nelk Boys gets the best guest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do love, like, the Impulsive interview with Oliver Tree. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Slime. Where he had slime and all.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That's my favorite, bro, for sure.
But I've been watching Impulsive since like the first episode. Like, all right, any reference that they make, I know it. Like the Riley Reid mic.
Really? You've been watching it from the start?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Have you seen that?
Oh, the nurse or the doctor or whatever?
Oh, yeah. What was it?
Their very first episode where they had a girl. Yeah.
Yep. And you've seen the Riley Reid mic one, right? Where she, like, the microphone. Maybe. She takes the microphone and puts it all the way in her mouth.
No, I haven't seen that.
So now every time a guest sits down, they're like, that's the Riley Reid mic. Like,
oh, is that what they said? That?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
And then...
Mike's by far my favorite, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I
used to like Spencer,
the
dude who hasn't been on it in a long time.
The beard dude?
Yeah, he was like a vegan.
Basically, George replaced him.
Yeah.
He
was a cool dude.
He was cool. He still comes on sometimes.
Yeah, he made the podcast good back in the day because Logan was kind of quiet because he didn't want to say shit that was going to get him in trouble.
He's really learned it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mike was the one who would say anything because he didn't care if he got canceled or not.
Right.
Logan was still getting over Japan, so he couldn't say whatever.
Right. Oh my.
And then the Spencer dude was like the liberal kind of vegan kind of hippie, but like he was like factually based. Like everything he would say was like a question. Like when they started talking about stupid stuff, he would try to bring it back to something that people would actually want to hear, and they would probably just shit on it, but. Still,
no, that's what I was because I don't know a lot of people that just sit there and watch podcasts, but like it sounds like you watch podcasts and I watch podcasts, but like Brett was another one, and me and Brett were talking about it too. He was like, man, actually, because we kind of had the same view with the Joe Rogan and all that. We still love Joe Rogan, but he was like, man, I just really would just watch Joe Rogan's clips and all that nowadays, you know, like if it's something interesting or. But he's like, we both love Impulsive. I'm like, bro, Mike's that guy. He's like, bro, he's my least favorite. I'm like, bro, everybody said why? Bro, he is the most interesting person on that show.
Yeah.
I think. Like, for me, it would probably go Mike, Logan, George Janko. And I love George. I like George, too. I like George. What was the other one you just said that used to be on there?
Spencer.
I like George more than Spencer.
Yeah.
And George is cool, but Mike just... And I didn't know he was in the business before that. Not podcasting, but like, I think he used to be on a bunch of like TV shows and stuff like that.
Well, he used to be he used to work for this company called Lovesack. They sell like those big beanbag.
I remember that. And Logan was like, dude, he just kept talking to me.
Yeah, that's what his main thing was before he got on the Logan's team. Was he was basically like a sales rep for them. So like he would reach out to like the YouTubers and stuff and be like, hey, post this on your Instagram story and we'll pay
he said he could talk to a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I've read his book and he's a pretty crazy dude.
Actually, Mike, so you said you have HBO Max?
Yeah.
So I remember when Euphoria came out and everybody was hating on it and all that. Mike was the reason I started watching that show.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about it a lot.
Have you watched Euphoria before?
I haven't.
It's actually pretty. I mean, there's a lot of like stuff I don't necessarily want to watch because I don't want to get canceled by saying a certain word, but like it's actually pretty good. But the reason I started watching it was because Mike was like, man, on top of all that you don't want to watch. He was like, when you have the camera and all that, like you like the way they edit it is just crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the clips of it, and that's what's got me wanting to watch it because it looks like it's really interesting.
Right. I mean, it's good. But Mike's the type of guy that's like can sell you water.
Yeah.
Being on the ocean. You know what I mean? And he sold me.
Sell salt to a slug.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, like real talk, Mike's my favorite by far.
Yeah, for sure. He's the one who makes the podcast interesting. He asks the questions that nobody else has the balls to ask. Like you know the Barstool podcast, Call Her Daddy? Yeah, like they were on way back in the day, back before the group split up.
Right.
Two girls. But like nobody was asking them questions other than Mike. And Mike was just going in on it.
I don't know about all that. Was Mike on there?
Yeah.
Like they had him on Impulsive or Mike went on
there? They had them on Impulsive. And then later on, Logan went on to their podcast.
I've never really watched the podcast. I just know a lot of girls that like that podcast.
Yeah. But like Mike's the one who asked the questions that are out there. Like that.
He fucking does, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, because the way he was, so like, when Euphoria is like huge, dude. That TV show. Mm-hmm. But you know, him being an ex-heroin addict and all that, he was talking about a lot of people had their views and all that. They were like, man, I want my kid watching this. It glorifies doing drugs, young girls doing drugs, yada, 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 sex, blah, blah, blah. Mike's like, let me tell you something. He was like, I like this show because, let me tell you, I'm an ex-addict, and you go to season 2, episode 3, he's like, bro, they're like fiending for drugs, like withdrawals and all that. He was like, it's so bad, it makes you want to cry. And he's like, man, I get what people are saying, but I want kids to see this aftermath.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I did a terrible job of, you know, impersonating him, but like he made that, like he sold it to him. And that's what Logan has always said, like he's just Mike. That's why I'm like, bro, why do you think people don't like Mike?
I think it's just because a lot of the audience isn't the same age as him. Like he's in his early to mid 30s. So I think
like 36.
Yeah,
he's like 10 years older.
I think people just have a hard time relating with some of his stuff and aren't ready for like the grown up conversations that because
I wouldn't have guessed it though. He don't look 10 years older than him though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Especially like when he shows the pictures of him back when he was on drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like back then he looked like he was in his 30s, but he was only like 20. But now
when he was drugged out and shit.
Yeah, now that he's cleaned up and everything, he doesn't look as old as he is. But I just think that that's why people can't really get on board with him, because even though he is super childish and asks like the crazy out there questions,
people do love him.
He's also but he's also the one that tries to talk about real stuff, and some people aren't ready for real stuff. They
do you think that if they took Mike off, you'd still watch it?
Probably.
I'd probably still watch it, but I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it religiously.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You know
I
what I
wouldn't
mean?
Regularly watch it. I would only watch if there was a guest on that I actually cared about.
Well, it's because like I'm not hating on George Janko, but like I don't think it's even close.
No.
I do like George better than
Spencer. Yeah.
But I do like Spencer too.
Yeah.
But I go back and watch her old videos and then watch this one. I'm like, bro, Spence, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn. So you got Dallas. What's your predictions?
I think.
Where are they going?
I think Dallas comes out of the West and.
What record? Like, what are they doing in the 4?
What do you mean, like?
They going Game 7 or are they going Game 6? Where are they going?
I say Dallas in 6 and Boston. I think they're coming out of the
No
East.
way.
Yeah, I think so.
No way.
Jimmy Butler's good, but Jason Tatum's better, in my opinion.
All right, what are you more confident in? You're more confident that Dallas beats Golden State, or are you more confident that Celtics beats Miami?
I'm more confident that the Celtics beat Miami.
I bet. I fucking bet, bro.
Like Golden State.
No way, though.
They are so much more stacked compared to Dallas, especially with depth. But Dallas, I just feel like this, if any year Luka's going to do it without help, this is going to be the year.
What's this? His third year? Fourth year? I think it might be third or fourth. Third or fourth.
I think, yeah. Because he came out the same year Trae Young did.
Bro, that's what I've been telling people, too. Like, so I usually, like, I'll keep up with stats, like, regular season more than most people in NBA. But most of the time, I like I'll keep up with stats of certain players that I like. But I really get into it when the first round starts.
Yeah.
But this year's kind of different just because of the simple fact that it's like I felt a little cheated just because I seen with the Lakers, they didn't do nothing. I think they won the play-in. And then I seen the Nets, and then I see Philly. I think they all should have done better.
Yeah.
But also shout out to those people. I also have been saying, because we both grew up, like we were saying earlier, you know, the LeBron era and all that. So you just, like, even if LeBron's team was good enough to make it, but they were like a 4th seed, they're going.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I like these young players going in, like definitely John Morant. I love John Morant, LaMelo, and a lot of people will disagree with me, but Lonzo is the reason Chicago, like not just the main reason, but like you see when Lonzo went out of Chicago, they didn't do too much, because I was telling people don't sleep on Chicago, but like that's even like when I talked to you earlier when we started this podcast and when I was talking about Golden State, their longevity is crazy. Yeah. Like besides having KD there, like just, and they were still doing work before KD was there, you know?
Yeah.
But just having Steph, and Steph was hurt for a year. He came back last year, but Clay coming back after 2 years, and then Draymond's still there. That's just crazy that they still have that franchise with all the injuries and all that. You're surprised that nobody gets traded.
Yeah.
They got to go down as one of the best dynasties ever.
Yeah, and
especially with that, you know.
Yeah, they're like I think in the NBA with the frequency that like all these superstars are moving around and stuff like that and joining super teams, I think it's
like who?
Like with how Kawhi kind of talked his way out of San Francisco and had to go to or not San Francisco, San Antonio. When Kawhi did that to get to Toronto,
right?
They shouldn't have won the title, but they did, mainly because of injuries, but also because that was a decent team. Yeah, but
got the lucky shot.
But then the year after, like he wins the title, has a decent team around him, and is in the East where it's easier, or it was at the time. And what's he do? He says, "No, I'm going to the Clippers. Get me Paul George."
You're mad about that?
I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying that that's why it's harder for a dynasty to exist in the NBA right now, because these players that aren't winning championships are like, I need to go somewhere else so I can win. So they're actively trying to
that's another LeBron debate too. That like, because I watched. You said you watched Sports Center and Undisputed and all that. Shannon always made a good debate that I agree with him on. He's like, bro, there's a lot of times these people like LeBron made the super team the thing, to be honest with you. And he's like, bro, they've been trying to do that and nobody can do a championship.
Yeah. Most of that, like back in the day, Charles Barkley, they tried to make, I think it was when he was with Phoenix, they tried to turn that into a super team with, I think they might have brought in Dennis Rodman, but they had like an aging superstar too, and they tried to make it into a team that could compete with Chicago, but they couldn't do it. So teams started to kind of stay away from that until the LeBron era came around and big teams started getting built up.
So who goes to the championship this year?
I think it's Dallas and Boston.
You don't think that he can mess with them?
That's who I want. I want it to be Dallas and Boston.
You see Jimmy Butler had like 41 last night?
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Butler, so I'm biased to the Heat.
Yeah.
That'd be cool too. I like Jason Tatum. And I like the Celtics and all that. But I love Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's crazy.
And Jimmy's not even their like star player. I mean, he's their biggest player. Just like, but they got Tyler Hero, Bam. Yeah, Bam. But Jimmy just has them nice. But Jimmy's just that trash talking dude. Like, you know what I mean? I remember it was the Heat and Lakers when Lakers won.
Yeah.
And I think they were down 3-2, and Jimmy's like, "We're coming back again." You know what I mean? Just talking shit the whole way out. You know?
Yeah. I think Jimmy always has a chip on his shoulder because everyone doesn't treat him like a superstar.
I don't think that.
Like because he moved around after he left Chicago. Finally, like he went to the Timberwolves and then got traded pretty much right after that season because
who did he go before the Heat?
He was with Philly. He was with
Philly.
And they hated it. They lost to that Kawhi shot where he hit.
The crazy, like in NBA history.
Yeah. So I think he's just always had a chip on his shoulder because every team has basically told him that he, like a lot of people think that he is like a bad locker room player. Like they think that he.
I think he probably hides people up, but I don't think Jimmy Butler's like. Jimmy Butler just wants people to think he's great.
Yeah.
But he is a trash talker, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
But you might be right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
100%.
Maybe.
But I just want to see Luka get into the finals before.
I like Luka.
He has to, because if he can't
that's
get
really
to the finals
young to be there.
But that's what I'm saying. I like him in Dallas. That's why I want him to get to the finals because if he doesn't, then when it's time for his contract to come up, he's going to want to go somewhere where he can actually win the title on a regular basis.
I don't know.
Because he's been winning
Mark Cuban will be out there on the benches with him.
True, but like
and they're going to pay him.
When he grew up, he played for Real Madrid in Spain, like the best basketball team overseas.
Yeah.
So like dude's been winning championships since he was 15, 16 years old at a professional level. So I just feel like
maybe.
And Dallas hasn't done anything to surround him.
Where would he go though?
I'm not sure where he'd go.
Just if you had an idea, where would you think he would go though? That would he fit? Dallas revolves. There's, yeah.
I mean, I think he would, if he were to leave and go somewhere, it would have to be kind of like a Brooklyn situation where they didn't have anybody, but they're able to bring in Luka and bring in somebody else.
No, I think Mark Cuban's gonna make it not happen.
Well, okay, that happens if Mark Cuban is the guy who brings in a superstar for. I just don't think.
Do you think Luka will chase a ring before money?
I don't think he would chase a ring. I just think it's that if the Bulls, if the Mavericks don't bring him help, he shouldn't want to stay there because like that's a waste of his career.
That's why I said money or rings.
Well, but okay, this might just be my argument for it, but I don't feel like it is chasing a ring if he leaves because they didn't get him help. Because like Giannis, everyone's been saying Giannis should leave Milwaukee until they started getting him.
Well, before he had that last chip,
yeah,
when the Lakers in Miami, Jimmy Butler was trying to get Giannis to come to Miami,
but they brought in Holiday to be like their third star, and that's the help that they needed to win that chip.
Right.
So I'm saying that's what I feel for Luka. Like he had Porzingis, that's not a superstar,
but he's still a role player.
He is, but like Porzingis, if it was Luka, Porzingis, and Jimmy Butler, or I don't know, Karl Anthony Towns, Donovan Mitchell, someone like that,
right?
He needs another guy, like another big name superstar level player for that team to compete for a championship. So I just think that if they don't get him help, he will leave, in my opinion. But I don't feel like it will be as much of a ring chasing move as like leaving it's one thing to leave a team when you've already got good team. Like when Kyrie left Cleveland,
right?
He wasn't ring chasing, but he also wanted to go to a better team and be the guy. So like I feel like it would be that kind of situation for Luka. Like he's already the guy in Dallas, but if he doesn't have help, he doesn't want to waste his career playing for a team that's not going to win.
You don't think Mark Cuban will bring people in though?
I think he can. I just don't know if he will.
Do you think location helps with NBA too, though?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think so?
I feel like
what's going on in Dallas?
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd rather play for Dallas than San Antonio, but Texas is
really?
A decent. Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, probably because more Dallas fans.
Yeah,
because you talk about Houston, San Antonio.
Yeah,
fucking all of them. They're all Dallas people. You know what I mean?
The big thing is like LA is a big landing spot for players because Los Angeles is a huge city. Same with New York, Boston, stuff like that.
I feel like that's a destination spot.
But the one thing is, it could be easy to bring players to Dallas because in Texas there's no taxes on the like on the income taxes or whatever.
Yeah.
So like that's why Joe Rogan moved his podcast from
to Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that they would have to be able to bring guys, like to sell guys on coming to their team and be like, look, we're going to pay you this and you're not going to lose it. But if you go to New York, this is how much money you're going to lose. $4 million, $5 million, blah, blah, blah. So they have the ability, and Mark Cuban's got the money to bring in help. It just depends on if they can get people to want to come there and if it's the right people and they actually have to pull the trigger on it.
So after this, we're definitely going to watch this Dallas game 1. Who you got on this one? Game 1. You said 6?
Dallas. Yeah, Dallas.
Really?
Is it Golden State? I think it's at Dallas, I think.
Let's look at it. Damn. I don't know where it's at. It's West Finals. I will tell you, though, if Golden State wins a championship this year, let's just say this year and maybe next year, does that say something about their longevity?
Yeah, it does.
Like in
not only were they able to win without Kevin Durant, but they're also able to win after
they won before
both
Kevin
of their.
Durant.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying so
yes.
they started winning, got Kevin Durant, kept winning, and then lose KD, lose Clay, lose Steph, and then all those years later, still winning. So if they do that, that just shows that that team's been held together crazy good, better than any other team in the league.
And I've never hated on Golden State. I've always said they're I mean, Chicago Bulls dynasty is gonna be hard to like mess with just because of their like accolades. But like Golden State, I think is better than them, in my opinion. But it's hard to like just make that like convo. But it's like I don't think they've been really. I mean, injuries as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think they've been relevant since LeBron was at Cleveland.
Yeah. No, they haven't.
I don't think they have. I mean, like I said, due to injury. But I'm just saying, Klay was out for 2 years. Steph was out a year. Steph came back for a year, and he got hurt halfway through the year. They lost KD.
Yeah.
But now they come back all healthy, and look at what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, at this point, with like teams like Phoenix and stuff like that, the West has kind of gotten back to being a powerhouse. Like it used to be. Like remember when LeBron was
been
with
a powerhouse.
Cleveland? Well, yeah, but okay. So when LeBron played for Cleveland.
Yeah, back again. We took a little pause. So we're talking all these sports and all that. Let's talk about NFL, college, just football.
All right.
Predictions, NFL this year. What is Steelers doing?
We're gonna go 10-7 and barely make the playoffs. Barely make the playoffs.
No way.
Kenny Pickett's not gonna play
Actually, maybe.
until Kenny Pickett's not gonna play
Who's
until
gonna
the end of
start?
the season. Mitchell Trubisky, definitely.
So Rudolph ain't getting a chance?
I mean, it depends on how he does in training camp and stuff like that, but he's
Well, they
he's
drafted, Steelers drafted 2 quarterbacks, you said?
Yeah, we drafted 2 quarterbacks.
So they're getting rid of him.
Yeah, because Rudolph's on a backup deal. Like, his contract's not small, but it's not huge. But if you've got 2 rookies and then Mitchell Trubisky, you're not paying for Mason Rudolph.
He's from Chicago, right?
Yeah. He played in Buffalo last year, though. He backed up Josh Allen. So
We're going to beat him out.
yeah. So, but apparently everyone said that Trubisky has, like, the ability to be a star quarterback. Because, like, you got to think, when he was in Chicago, dude made it to the playoffs twice. Like, they beat Green Bay. They
Early
won the
on,
division.
right?
Yeah. He's only been in the league for, like, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But
It's not bad.
I'm excited to see what Tennessee looks like this year with Traylon Burks. And
Yeah.
I hope Malik Willis takes Ryan Tannehill's job. I don't know if
I
you
don't
saw
think it's
it.
going to be that hard, though.
I don't think it will be either, but I don't know if you saw, but Tannehill was like, it's not my job to mentor the quarterback.
They do that, though.
Like, Brett Favre did it to Rodgers. And
Joe Flacco did that.
Yeah, he did. And I just think it's different in in Brett Favre's case, Brett Favre is a legend. Brett Favre.
Well, besides that case, I'm going to tell you, most of the time they told that or say that, they get burnt.
Yeah, exactly. And Tannehill is nowhere near a legend. He's had a great second half of his career in Tennessee. Yeah, he was trash in Miami, but how much of that is due to
well, he's he's a very accurate passer.
Yeah,
But they don't pass.
Yeah, and he's
Derrick Henry. Why would you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. I don't know how long Derrick Henry's going to be able to keep doing this.
He's a big old boy, bro.
Just remember when
injuries,
when Chris Johnson rushed for 2K yards for Tennessee. After that,
went downhill.
Nobody knew where he was. And
right.
Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, 2 dudes that were like elite running backs.
Le'Veon's wasn't. I'm gonna tell you right now. There's only been maybe 3 that I've known that set out for a year that was good when they came back.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson definitely, but his was injury.
It took a little time. I'm saying set out.
Yeah. But I mean,
Le'Veon was. I remember us being on cross country bus, bro, and you were showing me this kid from Michigan State hurdling over boys.
Yeah,
and he was good, man.
Yep.
But he's been he went to the Ravens for a little bit.
I
He had a couple plays. It was either last year or the year before, but we had J.K. Dobbins. It was 2 years ago. We had take the back because Mark Ingram, we traded him after like 3 games, but it was Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, and then we had number 30, and then Le'Veon Bell went to Kansas City. They wound up they either re-signed him for a little bit of a contract, and then they wound up cutting him. He came there, but he's been all around, But I just remember when he set out for the Steelers, got the big contract with the Jets, and they kind of just. Which the Jets were terrible, but I'm just saying he set out for a year. He had a terrible offensive line, so he just hadn't, it just self-destructed, really,
Yeah. He definitely had it made in Pittsburgh. So, But I don't think his success was dependent on being in Pittsburgh. It's just that he went to an awful team, and that's why it declined so fast.
Right. Well, and yeah, absolutely. But he definitely got the paycheck.
Yeah,
I think.
sure.
I mean, I don't even think that's hating saying that. He definitely did.
Yeah.
But he was worth the paycheck.
Yeah, definitely.
But that team he went at,
And the big thing is, it's like running back is the one position where nobody wants to pay because they get injured.
Last.
Yeah, they get injured super easily, and their career prime is very short. But
they're getting hit a lot.
Yeah,
And
he should I think his big thing, and the reason why I don't hate him for leaving is because not only was he I think he was the number one running back in the league. But even if you want to argue that
at that time,
yeah. But even if you want to argue that and say he's top 3 at that time, he was also catching 80 passes a year, more than most receivers in the league.
Kind of like a slot.
Yeah. So and that's kind of what Deebo Samuel and AJ Brown were going through. More so Deebo.
Zeke was going hard that year too, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But this year, Deebo wants out of San Francisco because he's one of the best receivers in the league. And he's also having to play running back, kick return, punt return, safety, basically. These guys that play all those positions should get paid more, but the teams don't want to pay them because they know they're going to run them into the ground and their careers are going to be short.
Right.
But that's why you see this year so many receivers got taken from pick 8 to 18 in the first round. 6 different receivers went drafted. And that's one, because the receivers are getting injured easier. 2, because the receivers are now getting paid way more, like Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill on 30.
Well, I think that kind of started it too, though.
Yeah.
Devontae getting that, that's why Tyreek dipped.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Kansas City was going to pay the same, they were going to pay exactly the same, but it wasn't that much less. But you would think most people would want to take $3 million less a year to play with Mahomes rather than play with Tua.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, just knowing his thing, he looked at that like, yo, I'm the best in the league.
Exactly.
Why am I getting less than this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, it's an exciting move.
Where did he go again?
Miami. So it's him and Tua.
Tua.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
There's a video going viral the other day of Tua underthrowing Tyreek.
Really?
Tyreek is so fast that Tua can't get the ball to him. But I don't know. I don't think...
I'm convinced that Baltimore is not going to get a good top-notch receiver.
Yeah, I don't know.
When we got Sammy, I was excited, but we didn't re-sign Sammy. We lost Hollywood Brown.
Yep.
We got a lot of good, offensive line, a couple of D-line players. Bro, they're just... Tight ends are the only ones we're getting because they want to block. It's basically what it is. I love Lamar Jackson, but that's what it is.
Yeah. I think Pittsburgh, we took a receiver in the second round, and it was one that Baltimore actually really wanted to get. I can't remember his name, but he... Nice.
What the fuck is going on? Pause. Go for it.
So Pittsburgh took a receiver that Baltimore wanted, second round of this year's draft. Can't remember his name, Pickens or something like that. But that's who they wanted to replace Hollywood Brown with. But without that, I don't think that y'all's receiving core is going to be that good this year. I
don't know. Well, no, listen. Well, okay. Yes, you're right on the sense of saying the receiver core. But we really, the way they run our offense, besides Lamar Jackson running, is they throw it. They have 3 tight ends, 1 receiver. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we got Bateman. They are hyping that boy up. Yeah. Rashad Bateman. I don't know. We haven't really seen him. He's played a couple games, but he kind of was hurt last year and all that. But before he got to get started, I was mad about it, man. Yeah. Actually, Lamar tweeted. Did you see that? Lamar was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. I mean, I just think.
But they got chemistry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got drafted together.
Yeah, Hollywood wasn't by any means a star receiver. He's a good number. On most teams,
he's definitely a good player.
He would be. I think he would be at number 2 on most teams. He's not on that level with D-Hop, Tyreek, those guys.
Well, with the Lamar Jackson offense, he was a star player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But going somewhere else, it would definitely be a 2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think he'll be a good fit with Kyler Murray in Arizona because the style's kind of similar, but. Also, Kyler likes to throw a lot more than Lamar does. Even though, I hate the argument that Lamar's
But here's the one thing I will say. Why do they got so many little guys for receiver core? Because you got Hollywood. Hopkins is one of the best in the league, but he's also small.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you know what I mean? Like, I don't. But Hollywood will be a good piece, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like you said, he's not like top 15, but he's a good receiver. It's just with the Lamar Jackson, like, if we had Antonio Brown or like Hopkins or like Adams or any of that, like, they would be a star receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I expected Baltimore to go after like Juju or someone like that, because I think Juju's just a step above Hollywood. Like, he's still not an elite receiver, but he is like a star player. But I think he's going to be fine in Kansas City because he's.
Is that where he went?
Yeah,
Juju's at Kansas City.
Yep. Him
what?
And,
who'd y'all trade him for?
We didn't trade. I think he was a free agent.
Oh, that's crazy.
So he went there, and then they also got MVS from the Packers, the Marquise.
I know what you're talking about.
Scantley or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I think Juju will be fine down there. But he would have been good in Baltimore because he's not like a deep threat receiver. He's like a over-the-middle physical kind of receiver. And that's kind of the style that Baltimore
I'm just going to be
plays.
honest with you. I do like Lamar Jackson. I like him a lot. But no box office main receiver wants to go there because they're going to have to block a lot.
Yeah, and
that's I'm just being honest. Like, when we got Sammy, I was surprised. And Sammy's not coming back this year.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins.
Like, no deep threat receiver wants to go to Baltimore because they're not going to get 15
I mean,
touchdowns.
Lamar could do that, but that's not the offensive scheme.
Yeah.
I mean?
He can, but they're not going to win as many games as they would if they play the right scheme.
Well, they're not going to get the stats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the main thing. Like, there's some slot receivers that are good that would want to come there. That want to, like Michael Thomas. I think he would be great there because all he does is run slants. Yeah, he doesn't.
Actually, I could.
So
see
he
that.
would like Lamar
Get
in
that
the
little
short
10,
game.
15-yard piece.
Yeah, like that's the kind of receiver that should want to go to Baltimore. But like a Tyreek, no.
Well, it's just they're not going to get the stats.
Yeah,
you know?
he's not going to get the ball 15 times a game like he would another team.
And that's why I say tight ends. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like Andrews is good. I
And,
mean, honestly,
and that's the thing too. Like I said, I love Lamar Jackson and all that, but even like he's one of the most accurate players in the last 15 years. But that's also because, to be honest with you, he's thrown to the tight ends or like just because of their offensive scheme. But there hasn't been an offensive scheme like that in a while. Probably they ain't been juked out like that since Mike came in the league.
yeah. Yeah, Mike Vick in early Atlanta days was,
and not that it's the same,
thing.
but I'm just saying it was like he came in, it was just different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why, like,
That's why I ain't been signed.
I think it's crazy that people still think that Lamar is like a phase, like that people are gonna figure this out and figure out how to.
No, he's
him.
gonna do his thing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like nobody ever figured out Vic. He just had to go away for a few years. But
no, the only thing I will say though is like people were like, "Is Lamar the best quarterback since you've been like watching this?" I'm like, "No, dude. Joe Flacco's got it because he's got a ring. He didn't throw no interceptions just as a quarterback." But I'm gonna tell you, I love Lamar Jackson. His second year, they like lost 2 games, and then after that, they just did not lose. He got the MVP. Yada, 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 breaking all these records. I love Lamar Jackson, bro. He's going to go down. People are going to remember him. But I'm just saying, as a quarterback, I just like, he is good, and they make the offense good to him. But there's no way that, like, I'm going to be mad whenever a receiver like Hollywood Brown, like, even though you say he's, like, not top tier, he's good, but he's not, like, you know, Hopkins, Adams, you know, just yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But, like, I love him, you know what I mean? But there's no way we're going to bring them there because of the offensive scheme. And that's why I also said the tight ends, bro. He's like, always, if it's third down and 15, he's throwing to an offensive or a TE. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But also people were hating on Hollywood Brown because a couple games, like our first 3, dude, he like was dropping passes. But Hollywood Brown's cold, dude. I don't care what people think. But like when people were talking about like, so people before Tom Brady recruited Antonio Brown, they were talking about Antonio Brown gonna come to Baltimore because Marquise Brown and Antonio Brown cousins. And then when he does all this, he's like, he came on that one I Am Athlete. Did you watch that podcast?
I didn't watch it, but I saw some.
But do you know who I Am Athlete is? You know, Brandon Marshall and Ocho Cinco and all them. he came on there. They're like, who is somebody you would come for? He said Lamar Jack. He's saying that because he don't have nowhere else to go. But I'm saying, like, I still don't think that fits him. Yeah. But now talking about and bringing up Chad Ochocinco, I remember, bro, us being 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah.
And you looked at me, you're like, bro, you know Ochocinco? I said, yeah. He's like, bro, he got whatever he did, he got cut from the team or whatever. And you're like, bro, he's working at McDonald's. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember I read his book back in like 8th grade.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, he was, because I know he left Cincinnati, and I think he tried to play for New England for a year or two.
Something like that.
Then after that, it was one summer, him and Terrell Owens tried to both go to different teams, and both of them ended up getting cut. So there was a big picture going around of Ochocinco flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Yeah, I remember that. Dude, I went, me and Pat went into McDonald's the other day in Greenbrier, bro. It's not the same, bro. They're all like high tech and everything now. You don't even have to go up there and order your food. You can go to this little screen and do it.
Yeah, I haven't eaten McDonald's in a while.
Really? Bro, yeah, but like, even that, like, so Johnny Manziel and T.O. are both in this football league. Have you seen this?
Yeah,
the advertising?
yeah. Fan-controlled football.
Oh, my God, dude.
I don't know.
I love Johnny, bro. I will tell you this right now. I think you're going to debate it because it's Tim Tebow, but I'm going to tell you right now, the baddest dude I've ever seen and most athletic, just the craziest shit I've ever seen in college football was at Texas A&M with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be honest with you, like, he didn't do shit in the NFL and yada, 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 but I'm going to tell you, I remember he was cold.
Yeah.
I remember us talking about, like, damn, this is something we would do in NCAA. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Manziel, I don't think he got a fair chance, I guess, but he definitely...
He went to the Browns, bro.
Yeah, he definitely...
I'm not going to say maybe he couldn't have done something anywhere else because it's Manziel, but he damn sure went to, like, you know what I mean?
The Cowboys wanted to draft him, but luckily Jerry's kid talked him out of it, and they drafted Zach Martin instead, and he's one of the best guards in football. But if Johnny would have gone somewhere more competent, I think he would have had a better chance in the league, but... He went to the Browns, an awful franchise,
and at the time,
division.
And at the time, well, when he got, was that when Baker got signed? Right after he got cut?
No.
What was the time where they went 2 years back to back, 0 wins?
That was.
Was that before Johnny or was that right after Johnny?
I
mean, they were terrible for years, but when was the 0-0 seasons? They went 2 seasons back to back, 0 wins.
I want to say it was before Johnny because I know after him, when they drafted Baker, they had the number 1 overall pick, so it might have been that. But
what's your thoughts on Baker?
I think he's going to Seattle. I think he's a decent quarterback.
Do you think he's a starter?
I think he is. He's bottom tier. He's bottom tier starter, but he's a starter.
Why? I got into him. All right, let me tell you this. I got into one of my buddies. Not really got into it, but like we're just talking, and he's more college. And to be honest with you, both of us got an idea of NFL football versus someone who doesn't know shit about NFL football. And he kind of, when Deshaun Watson went out there and all that, he was like, bro, Deshaun is not nothing better than Baker. I'm like, bro, what? Like, I'm not hitting on Baker. I think he'll be a decent quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Deshaun's cold, dude.
Yeah.
And he don't get the credit, bro. When he was at Houston, I mean before he lost all of his weapons and all that and all the, allegations, all that. But that's like 4 years he's been there. That was his last 2. But the first 2 years he was there, he was cold, dude.
Yeah.
And he was still cold his last year, bro. He just didn't have nobody. But statistically, he was great.
Yeah, he led the league in yards. And
that's what I'm saying.
Without all the allegations, there's no way that anyone would have anything negative to say about Deshaun Watson because
I agree.
He's easily a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. And I would say he's top 3.
In the league right now?
Yeah, right now. Even with missing a year.
You're talking about like the newcomers?
Yeah, even with the newcomers.
No, I'm saying you're saying top 3 right now in the league.
Yeah.
Who would be your top 3 quarterbacks?
I guess I'd have to put... I mean, Mahomes is definitely number 1.
Okay.
And then... You could kind of interchange it, but Rodgers definitely is in that top 3 too because, dude's won back-to-back MVPs.
Rodgers is cold.
And I hate Aaron Rodgers, but You can't argue with the numbers. You can argue with the fact that he can't win in the playoffs, but that's another story. But, I mean, it's not like Deshaun got a championship either, so you can't knock Aaron.
He's also young, too, though. He's a pup.
Exactly.
Compared to Aaron Rodgers, he's a pup.
But Aaron Rodgers with the 2 MVPs and then Mahomes with the MVPs and making it to 3 Super Bowls already at this point in his career. But that is one thing I hate about the Lamar. And also, I just want to say this. In the AFC East, so our division, or are we the North?
We're North.
Yeah, so AFC North, Pittsburgh.
We got the hardest. We got the hardest division. Tell me we don't.
Yeah, we do. But with Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati, the starting quarterbacks, I've seen so many stupid lists of what order it's in. Let me tell everyone right now, Joe Burrow is not over Deshaun Watson. Yes, he made a Super Bowl. Congratulations.
At this point?
Joe Burrow is a very good player.
Are you talking about right now? Are you talking about right now?
Right now.
Okay.
I don't care that Deshaun
Well, you ain't seen Deshaun either in the last.
And also, Andrew Luck has had seasons like Joe Burrow had. RG3 had an insane season. Doesn't be there anymore.
His first one.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, you can't. I wouldn't compare him just because.
No, I wouldn't compare.
Like Deshaun was just so cold his first couple seasons, and he didn't really. So you can't really spell. But Joe Burrow is gonna have a ring or two.
Oh yeah,
I really believe that.
Burrow's career will probably end up being longer than Watson's at the end. But just right now as a player,
no, it will be.
Yeah, if you had to pick one of them, Deshaun or Joe Burrow, without the allegations. Of course, because that's a big part of it. But without the allegations, it's Deshaun Watson all day. Deshaun Watson
like
win.
This last year?
Yeah. Any team can win right now with Deshaun Watson. Joe Burrow, he was in a perfect system. He had great, Jamar Chase, elite
this last year.
Yeah.
Well, we had chemistry with Jamar Chase, but he didn't have a good offensive line.
No, he didn't.
But then again, I can't say that Deshaun Watson had a good setup neither. You know what I mean?
But now in Cleveland, Deshaun Watson's got top 5 offensive line in the league.
I root for Deshaun Watson. I like him. I like him a lot, really. I remember him throwing to Sammy Watkins.
Oh, yeah.
That's why when Sammy came to Baltimore, I was so excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I will tell you, let's see, Deshaun Watson, this would have been his 5th year if he would have got to play.
Yeah.
Or 4th. I don't know. I don't know where Joe Burrow gets to his 5th year, dude. I don't know, dude. Because his crazy thing about Joe Burrow, his first year he had nothing. No offensive line. Yeah. He's still averaging 300 plus a game. Yeah. You know what I mean? For the Bengals, we got the hardest division. I don't care what nobody says. We got the hardest division.
Yeah.
And, bro, I don't know. We'll see. But if you're talking about just last year, if Deshaun Watson came to the same team as Joe Burrow last year, I'm taking Deshaun Watson over Joe Burrow. But longevity, I'm gonna take Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But you're talking about just now. But that's what I also think's crazy about Joe Burrow, man. I think that he's so young. But I ain't we were talking about earlier, like Andrew Luck and all them coming in and all that. I ain't seen just a quarterback that goes off like that, but to a terrible team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I'm rooting for Joe Burrow, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence comes up in the next year or two?
Because
I think he's getting too much hate, man.
Yeah, it just depends on how ownership works with that team. Because I mean, think of it's kind of like when Tannehill was in Miami. They were a garbage team, never brought anybody in, never got any help. But that's how Jacksonville is right now. They're a garbage team. He doesn't have much help, so it's not up to him to be good. It's up to management to put pieces there and to make good decisions.
Right.
But based on his play,
they got to put
not his
pieces
fault.
Around Trevor.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not his fault if his numbers aren't what people think they should be. Because
I think they will though around Trevor. I think they will.
If they're smart, they will.
Well, it's but
it's
people were
that's not a desirable location. For
his first agents. I don't remember if his first, second, or third game, but his first couple of games. I think his first game he did decent, but then the next couple ones he threw 3 picks. He's trapped. I'm like, bro, this boy's a pup, bro. You never been in this.
Yeah.
You got to think going from Clemson, too, and like just going to the next level, too, but just having the winning players around you. You know what I mean?
And who's around him right now? I can't name more
Name
than
a
two
receiver.
players. Yeah,
Name a receiver.
DJ,
I can name a tight end that didn't make the cut.
Or DJ Clark or DJ Chark, something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
why I'm saying I guarantee they're going to build it around him.
Yeah,
they got to.
They've got two good running backs now. James Robinson and then Travis Etienne, the Clemson running back that got drafted with them.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't tell you who plays on that team.
That's what I'm saying.
They got a good kicker.
I think they'll build people around him. Because these box office just from his name.
Yeah.
Just from all that.
I mean,
like, people are going to watch Trevor Lawrence play.
Yeah, that's what was supposed to happen last year. That's why they brought Urban Myers to be the coach, because it's a huge name. That's why they brought Tim Tebow to training camp.
There was a lot of shit. Dude, that was
the stupidest crap ever.
No, they did that for fucking
that's what
marketing.
I'm saying. They wanted to get eyes on that team.
Right, exactly. You're 100% right.
Tebow is not a tight end. He's not a quarterback. He
just got to get the fuck out of
player.
He needs to be a sports analyst or something,
Stick
bro.
to minor league baseball and writing good books, which I've read.
But you're 100% right. But I think bro, what do you think about the Browns and Deshaun Watson? How are they going to go out this year? Bro, I'm telling you, like, it's not even us being biased, you being a Steelers fan, me being a Ravens fan. That's going to be a big one to fill, man.
Yeah,
he's going to be cold.
It all depends on how long he gets suspended for. If he gets suspended, because the league can still suspend him for all the accusations.
No, they can't now.
No, they can. They can.
No, it's civil.
No. He can't get in legal trouble, but they can still, like, because you remember how Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think they will after signing that max contract. I think if they were in fears of doing that, they wouldn't have.
The team won't now, but the league still has the ability to.
Even on a civil case.
Yeah, because that's what they did for Ben Roethlisberger, because he got accused
with the like his old stuff.
Yeah, and that wasn't criminal either, but. It just depends on what they
have
do.
that image.
Yeah, they they have to do it for publicity, basically.
I just feel like with him having this new contract, them giving him a max deal.
But the league's not giving him that.
I get that, but I think they wouldn't have signed him knowing that they might.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think that's why there weren't more teams in the running for him, though. Because
I know that's why. I know that's why they weren't.
So, but I just think. I think it's definitely still a 50-50 possibility that he could be suspended for some amount of time.
I don't think so.
But if it is, it's going to be 4 games max. But if he's there for the whole season, then I think they win our division. No questions asked.
They might.
But
I think Bengals are coming out, dude.
Their receiving core, I mean, they do have Amari Cooper now. But
Bengals got Amari Cooper?
Or Cleveland.
Oh, God. Cooper. They got Amari Cooper?
Yep.
No shit.
Yep. He's on a big deal, but they got Amari Cooper. They've got decent tight ends.
Joe Burrow.
They got no.
Is Chubb still there?
We're talking about. Yeah.
Wait, who?
Cleveland. You said Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah, I was thinking Cincinnati. My bad.
But yeah,
Deshaun Watson.
They got Chubb. I'm pretty sure Kareem Hunt's still there. They've got one of the best lines in the league, and the defense.
Well, Kareem Hunt got cut.
Oh, he did.
He got traded to Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they got them.
And then their defense it's not elite, like it's not on the level of Pittsburgh
or
Baltimore,
though.
But it's still good. Yeah,
they got good corners.
Yeah, definitely.
And all that. Is Clowney
there? He was. I think he went Tennessee or something like that, maybe. Or no, that was before he came. I'm not sure if they re-signed him or not because he wants a lot of money too. They've got Myles Garrett.
That's who I was thinking. Myles Garrett.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a bad dude too.
He's still no TJ Watt, but he is up there. He's
how's TJ Watt been? He still has the Steelers.
Yeah, he just won Defensive Player of the Year.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. He was half a sack away from the all-time sack record.
Is JJ still playing?
Yeah,
Arizona.
Arizona. Yep.
Has he been still a star player? Or kind of
mean,
declining, but still good.
He's definitely declining.
Right, but still good.
Yeah,
still good. Still good enough to be in the 2-year deal type of thing.
Yeah.
Word. I didn't know that JJ was that good though.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy.
Is he as big as JJ?
I think he's a little smaller because he plays
same position.
Well, JJ's more of a left end, like on the line, but TJ's an outside linebacker, so he's got to do a little more coverage and drop back and all that.
Right.
But I think he's a little smaller, a lot faster, that kind of thing. But he's still a pretty big dude.
You miss 44.
44.
My favorite player in all time. Oh, fucking Troy Polamalu. Yeah. Yeah, 43. My bad. He said put some respect on his name.
Y'all just got a new safety, too, in the draft. First round from Notre Dame.
I can think of his name.
Hamilton or something? Kyle?
Yeah. Well, my favorite player of all time was Ed Reed.
Yeah.
But I always said that it was between him and, who's the best safeties of all time. I think.
Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu.
Because anytime you, like, hear about these people retiring, all these old players are like, those are two guys that scare me. You ever watch Pat McAfee?
Yeah.
Bro, he's like, them two guys scared me.
Yeah.
He's actually one of the best. Like, Undisputed is my favorite, but I love listening to Pat McAfee. But he's also uncensored. He don't care. You know what I mean?
His is basically like a TV show, podcast format kind of thing.
Like, if Sam Birchfield drank and kicked it, that would be his podcast. Have you heard from Sam on that?
Nope.
I ain't either. Kicker swag.
But yeah, Pat always tells the story about Troy Polamalu ruining his chance to get a touchdown.
Like he didn't know that he was doing the fake or something.
He lined
like
up
that.
in the C gap or something like that.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yep, that's his most famous story.
Bro, that dude had like swag, like with punting and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was out of all the kickers and punters, it was only him. And then there was this other dude that played in Oakland. He was a black dude that punted for them, number 7. Yeah. I don't remember what his name was, but he was like the coolest kicker in the league. Like
the Adderall dude?
I don't know if it was him or not, but like he would pick up the flag and like do dances with it and stuff like that. Yeah. I can't remember his name, but he got cut whenever John Gruden took over because Gruden was like, we don't do none of that. But
no, yeah. He did a podcast one time. Or on his show, he was talking about how they were talking about Adderall and all that, and he was like, man, it was like I was getting on my 6th year, 7th year, I'm out there kicking. They drafted or like signed a kicker. He's out there. He's like, man, I'm working out. I kick a couple for the practice. He was like, this dude just 8-hour practice kicked all day long. He said, finally, I just went up to him like, man, how do you kick that much? He's like, I get prescribed Adderall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Bro, I was talking not the last episode I did, but the one before that. Greenbrier, bro, almost went to state this year.
I haven't paid attention much, honestly.
Yeah, so apparently Sean Hamilton, do you have him on Facebook?
Yeah.
So like he'll post his stuff and all that. But Bryce filled me in too. So they basically had like athleticism wise our junior year, but they had because Greenbrier's got huge, man. You know, they're actually going to 6A next year. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So they basically had all the athleticism and talent we had, but we had our players that played like Fish and Colbert and all of them. They would play both sides of the field, you know. And Johnson, they would play both. They said basically Sean Hamilton was like, man, this is the best team I ever had or seen like Greenbrier had. And they were like, really, you know, because they were talking about 2013, you know, and they were like, yo, how are you going to say that? He was like, no, it's like, I love them. I was at every game, but it's like, they just had more pull because they didn't have to do both sides on it. Just how Greenbrier was grown, you know, but like basically they went to the semis. We didn't even get that far, but they went to the semis, play PA, and they lost by like, I think 3 points, a field goal or something like that. But then PA goes on and plays another team and gets their ass whooped. But yeah.
I mean, at least they didn't lose to Batesville again.
Bro, I think that's who they lost to be honest with you.
I remember going, I definitely went to when we played Batesville at home in the playoffs, but I remember literally, even after I graduated, I drove to Batesville one time to watch us play them in the playoffs, and they whooped us every single time.
Every fucking time. Even when we were undefeated. I think they beat us like 22 to like 8 or something like that. Yeah. Like some margin like that.
The only team I can remember us playing that that I never got to see was when I think we were probably freshmen at the time, but they played Camden Fairview.
Oh, and they beat our ass.
Yeah,
like
but I think that was the semis. I think that's the
no,
time
it was. It was.
Furthest. Yeah,
because Nil was a freshman, I think, or like a sophomore. No, a sophomore. Yeah.
And then after that, I think our sophomore year, I think they might have lost to.
We lost to Greenwood and Valonia.
But in the playoffs, though, I think it was like a Pine Bluff team.
Batesville.
No.
When we were in high school?
That was I'm talking sophomore year. So our first, like Neil's.
Sophomore year, we lost to Batesville.
We did.
By 10.
Was
Neil got hurt. Remember at Valonia?
Yeah.
Neil got hurt.
Okay, yeah. So, no, then it was the year before that when we were freshmen.
Yeah.
It was,
that's when we lost to Camden, I think.
No. That was our 8th grade year.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
9th grade, we lost. Whoever.
It was a Pine Bluff kind of team, but their dad was a former NFL player.
Arkadelphia?
No. It was Pine Bluff something or it was
Silver Hills.
No, I don't remember who it was, but I just know that their quarterback, his dad.
Was it Wynn?
No. It was some school in Pine Bluff. I just can't think of the name.
Whitehall.
I'm pretty sure that's the opposite way. Are you just naming places?
No, Whitehall's like by Pine Bluff.
I can't remember what the name of the school is now. But
so are you just?
No. The more you
I wasn't naming like I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong about that too. But I think that's who it was.
I just can't remember. I just know that they had a quarterback whose dad was a 13-year NFL veteran because he used to play for the Redskins or Commanders. Sorry.
Yeah, let's get it right. We don't want to get canceled. Blink one more time, buddy.
No, yeah, but I don't remember who it was. But that I paid attention.
I mean, it might not have been. I think Whitehall's around that area though, ain't it?
I always thought Whitehall was up.
It might be. I'm trying to think who's by Pine Bluff. Bro, can you just look it up? That's where I need a manager to be like, hey, can you look that shit up? Bro, you know what I think? What? I think you should do the midnight fade. Bring it back.
Yeah, probably not.
He's looking it up, folks. You know, we're going to pause. We're going to take an intermission. So we had to unpause because we had to find the statistics and all this. Greenbrier, what was that? Our 2011, our team played them. And we were trying to figure it out. And we were like, man, Ron's like, bro, that's a Pine Bluff team. But it's not. What's the name of that Pine Bluff team?
Oh, actually, it is a different name. It's Watson Chapel.
That's
who it was.
I knew it was Whitehall.
Yeah.
I knew it had a W.
Yeah.
Damn, I was trying to make him look dumb, but yeah, that's who I thought it. I know I said Whitehall. You were right on that, but I knew it had a W or something like that.
Yeah, but I just remember that because at the time they had a kid on their team, Kyle Coleman.
Yeah, I remember too.
His dad's name was Monty Coleman. He was a former NFL player, but Kyle played in the NFL from 2016 to 18, so 2 long-year career. But he did play for the Seahawks and Chargers. But yeah, I remember us playing them. That was the one, like, that's like the first memory I have of Greenbrier football, other than losing to Camden.
Yeah.
But yeah, since
I remember going to an Alma game. I don't know, 10th, 11th. Hunter Much was like, we're playing them, we're beating Alma's ass. Hunter Much is like, they're all cheering. They're like, we're beating them like 49 to like 13. Hunter's like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
I didn't get Hunter on here.
They kept announcing another Alma first down.
Yeah.
And we're winning by 50.
Yeah. But fuck y'all. Dude, Alma's peoples are weird.
I don't know anyone from Alma.
Mount. Maryland people, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to lie to you, though, before we wrap this up. I did not expect to agree with a bunch of the shit with you. So I really want to bring up a topic that we're not going to agree on. But really. What do you want to talk about, Ron?
I don't care.
Let's just bring something up.
Arkansas football.
Hey, we're going to be better next year.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy to be better than... No.
Ryan's like typical of going on Facebook and be like, which, to be fair, the last 8 years, 10 years, we've been terrible. The whole 10 years, fucking 15 years that Ryan's been in Arkansas from Maryland. We've been terrible, and we'll always say we're doing better the next year. So Ryan will get on Facebook and be like, "Yeah, all you Arkansas fans, I bet y'all will be better next year." I'm tired. Like, he'll piss motherfuckers off.
Yep.
He's not scared to tell you, neither.
Nope. And I will laugh in their faces when they're wrong the next year too. But
so what about next year?
I don't hate Arkansas or hate all.
We're on I think we're on to come up to at least be just a decent team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think at the very least,
and I'm always gonna root for them. Like, I'm always rooting for them. Like, if we go like 4-5-0, and then we decided we had to play Texas A&M or like LSU or something like that, I'm definitely gonna root for them. I'm gonna tell you we're gonna beat their ass, even though we don't.
Yeah.
But I'm more confident now in the last. But I'm not gonna sit here and I love Sam Pittman, our head coach, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you we're just gonna be in that conversation. But I will tell you, basketball, I will say that.
Yeah.
Basketball, we're in national championship.
or
at least Final Four. Can you at least admit that?
Not Final Four. Elite.
Really?
I'll give you Elite Eight. I'll give you Elite Eight. But you're
we
not
go to Elite Eight every year. The last 2 years. Last 2 years.
2 out of how many?
All right, but we're like,
Here's
traditionally speaking, we were talking about USC earlier. Traditionally speaking, that's what we. But I'm just saying, the last 2 years and our coach, bro, you're not gonna say that for real.
I got into it with a lot of people on Facebook.
We shouldn't have even been there this year. I agree. If that's what you're gonna say, then I agree with you.
No, that's not it. My thing is, just people were saying, Arkansas should be here. Arkansas should get more respect. And my thing was,
why not?
They're acting like Arkansas is a blue blood program.
What do you mean by that?
So a blue blood in college basketball
is
would
that
be
like Duke, Kansas, and all that?
Kentucky,
Baylor, fucking Oregon.
Yeah, and they'll never. Now I don't know about Baylor and Oregon.
Okay,
but especially like those
Duke, Kansas,
Gonzaga,
Indiana.
Yeah, you're not ever going to be one of those because.
But we used to be. What do you mean we're not ever gonna be? We used to be.
Okay, but I'm saying those are schools with not just one, not just two, not just three, many championships. Arkansas has. Do they have 2 in basketball?
We have one.
One.
We have one.
That historically, just
being that's big for Arkansas. You're right, yeah, but yeah,
a blue blood, like they're just like the dynasties of old, like how Miami in football or Alabama in football, like all. Like
yes,
that kind
but
of thing.
Listen, we have in this last year we have the second most recruits and number 1 in transfers, right?
Yeah.
But the person we're second to is number 1 is Duke. And they just lost Coach K.
Yeah.
And even if you don't even you want to talk shit to me and all that, you gotta admit our coach is badass, dude.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
That's what I'm saying. I definitely think if he has the power to have us be number 2 to go to Arkansas, that's a big deal, bro. Honest to God.
And I definitely think Arkansas has a window to be able to win championships in the next
All right, answer me this. Should Arkansas went to Elite Eight this year? Because I would have told you hell no.
I'm not sure.
I'm telling you, I know they shouldn't have been.
I think they earned their way there. They had
earned it,
very favorable
but they shouldn't have went.
If they would have been 1 seed different up or down, like the teams that they played in the tournament, if their seed would have been just 1 or 2 different, like
it probably would have fucked them.
Yeah, because
that's what I'm saying. They were playing trash teams.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the fact that they play them 2 trash teams and beat Gonzaga. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. With us having the pool we're coming in this year, and with the transfers, that just shows you this year before all the recruiting and all the transfers. That just shows you that we have a good coach.
Yeah.
So when I tell you that we have the second best recruits, Duke's have. Well, I still think Duke will still be very dominant. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, with that, the fact that our coach, basically the biggest thing is, I think the fact that our coach was able to bring us to where we were last year is big. And I think that we're having all these recruits come in being second. We're going to dominate, man. I really think that. And I'm not, and my buddies came on here, they're talking about football. And they're like, man, I think we're going to have a chance in there. I'm like, I'm not even going to say that. I'm cool with us going 7-3, 7-4, 8-5, whatever, you know what I mean? But I really think the one sport we got going besides track, basketball, bro. I love our coach, bro. That's how confident I am with him. And that's just me being 100% honest and me knowing a little bit about my sport and all that. You know what I mean? That's just me, though. I could be 100% wrong, but I don't think I am.
No, yeah, I can't argue with that.
That's just me.
Anything else?
Huh?
I said anything else?
Anything else? Let me think about it. Damn, I did not expect you to say. Holy fuck. We probably do need to wrap it up, though.
All right.
Unless you got anything else you want to say.
Nope.
Well, hey, this is episode 12. We got Ryan Beegle on here. I'm going to shout him out one more time. But before we go, I will say this. We should talk to each other. We grew up together. But, man, I like having these sports talks, so I hope to have you on again, man.
All right. I appreciate it.
And like I said, like besides like you saying the Arkansas thing with the basketball, bro, we agreed on a lot of things that like blew my fucking mind, dude. Honest to God.
Yep.
So I appreciate you having on, man. And this is episode 12. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're coming back hot. Word.